Yola shows up with a fucking dab rig.
There we go.
So this whole podcast,
It's a party.
well, when I tell you I'm I'm like looking at them like this, but in my peripheral, it's a campsite with a fire.
Oh, man.
So I'm thinking we're like sitting next to a lake.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Unquestionable The Podcast, guys. We're back with a special guest, none other than radio personality, entrepreneur. Shit, the list goes on. Bootleg Kev, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man.
Thank
Sacramento in here, huh?
Yeah.
That's where we're coming from.
Shout out to Sac.
No, appreciate you having us.
Yeah. How much of the like Stockton craziness bleeds over to Sac?
A lot. Too much.
Yeah.
It's too close, especially where we're from out in Gaul. It's like he was saying 15 minutes away. So.
Oh, shit. Yeah. That's crazy.
It's damn near like the half point between
Huge
Sac and
influence.
Stockton. So
Got it.
your family's either from Sacramento or Stockton. Usually.
Yeah, the
Makes
type
sense.
beats are going crazy right now on YouTube.
The Stockton type beats?
Yeah.
So
Like that's
AA goes
beats,
crazy.
That's all it is you find around
That's,
town right now.
yeah. That's crazy. They have like this little weird city in the middle of California has its own sound.
No, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're starting to call it West Coast drill or something like. I don't know how I feel about that, but they were saying that.
I guess that's a pretty near accurate description.
It's a movement. It's a movement.
Just a bunch of op killing music.
oh man, that's crazy.
I guess.
Yeah, like that new song J-Bo put out where he just
Oh yeah, he just goes on a list.
and he just lists.
Dissing
I'm like,
everybody.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
That's aggressive.
No,
He's bringing
definitely.
that diss track hip hop back for sure though.
It's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something,
If
but
it
it's
ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
keeping the area.
He's making
bubbling right now.
his own wave right now too with what he's doing.
For sure.
Yeah. No, yeah, he has a lot in the chokehold right now. You know, a lot of different areas. So
Yeah.
Everybody out there in that area, even towards the Bay Area, they're all trying to rap like the EVK guys.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
They're trying to tap in with the crew too. Like they're the sound right now for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I
He even
hear
got
it.
Stunner Girl with him too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
no,
Stunner Girl
She's from
too.
Sac, right?
She's from Sac too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stunner
she's dope too. We listen to her. Well, I don't know. You guys listen to her?
Yeah,
She's cool. I'll listen. I listen to her.
My
I say I
girlfriend
do.
does.
She's cracking.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's,
yeah.
She was like on a TV show or something.
Oh
She
yeah,
was
the
on
baddies.
Baddies, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where she came
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
For sure.
Shout out Stunner Girl, shit.
Shout out Stunner
She's
Girl.
sleeping with EVK J-Bo? Is that like her man?
No, I think she got a separate man.
Nah,
Well,
they're,
I think they
yeah, I
broke
think they're
up.
done,
I don't know.
bro.
I don't know too much about the
so
gossip,
yeah,
man.
I think there's speculation, but I don't think it's been, they've had some selfies in like the back of a car together, but
You know
I
how
don't
it
think
be.
it's nothing, you know.
Unless they have a song they're
Confirmed.
trying to promote or something.
Yeah,
Could be.
you
It
never
also
know.
goes like that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could be the Ice Spice Central C.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Stockton.
I'm stalked. Yeah, bro. Cali. That's what we got going on right now.
The Thizzler version.
The Thizzler version. Shout out Thizzler.
That's hilarious. Shout out Thizzler
Yes,
for
sir.
sure. Nah, but Bootleg Kev, man, you know, everybody asks you about where your name comes from, but I kind of want to take a different approach and kind of ask you more of how'd you get into bootlegging and kind of what, like, you know, how that shaped the rest of your life. In a
Yeah, I
sense.
mean, when I was like a kid, like I didn't have the internet and shit, and my homie, my boy David was like my only friend who had the internet. So he was like a fucking internet nerd. So this fool would like, he was like on these message boards and shit, downloading songs, downloading mixtapes, downloading albums before they were dropping like leaks and shit. And then I don't know what, at the time I was like selling donuts and shit at my school for my mom's work before they expired.
There you go.
And I think the game documentary leaked
Okay.
hella early. And I remember just me and my homie used to go to the SWAT meet. And I remember when we went one time, I asked the guy, like, how much does it cost to sell shit here, you know? And it was like $25 for the day for like a parking space to sell stuff out of.
Okay.
So I was like, yo, we should just go sell the Games album.
Yeah.
And so he didn't want to do it, but I did it. So I like printed up like 100 copies of the documentary with like some fake artwork.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just like a lick. I don't know. And then I was like, oh shit. And then that's when I like figured out how to pay for internet at my house, got like a little shitty computer, and figured out like this message board hustle where you were going on these message boards and then like clicking on these like rapid share links and shit and downloading all these like albums. Like shit would leak early back in the day, bro. Like, cause it was all physical media. So the album had to get sent to the recording plant, like where they printed the CDs and all that shit. So there was a lot of people's hands that music would go through before it came out. So shit would leak all the time. So yeah, then at that time the mixtape game was cracking. So I started at the swap meet, and I was like, I started real slow, just selling like maybe like 4 or 5 mixtapes, like a few albums, and I would sell out like every Saturday or Sunday. And then I just like leveled up week by week. And then I started selling them to like hip hop stores around the city. And then at that same time, Picture Tee started cracking. Like there used to be these like fucking picture shirts that used to have like mug shots or pictures of Scarface or just all this random shit.
You did jerseys too, right?
Yeah, for sure. That was a little bit later, but
You got into the clothing?
yeah, so I started making these shirts. I just bought an iron press, and then you would be able to print like a transfer off of a regular printer, and then you just press it onto a tee. So I would sell hella shirts. I would sell like, people would want shit, so I would have like a folder on my computer that I would set up at the swap meet in the back of my fucking rodeo.
And you make like customs right there? Or
Where I would like, hey, yo, I have a folder of pictures you could choose from.
Oh, okay.
Like
okay,
if I didn't have something that was, if I didn't have like something that was printed, like people could like go through this folder and be like, I want that one, I want that one. Or, oh, you got a 50 Cent one, or you got, And yeah, so then from there, like just over time, like I just was just hitting licks, and then I forgot how I ended up getting connected with China.
Oh.
But I think there was like a website that my boy sent me, and I ended up talking to some lady on like whatever Skype was back. It wasn't Skype yet. It was some other shit. I think it was like MSN or Yahoo.
Oh, okay. Some AOL.
Yeah, so then the jerseys, man, I started getting the jerseys for like 20 a pop, and I'd sell them like this before, because right now the bootleg jerseys are running rampant.
Yeah.
It is terrible.
Yeah.
But this was like 2005. So like it wasn't like out there yet like that. So like nobody was really getting them.
You couldn't tell the difference between
Yeah,
them
so
as
all
much.
people saw was like, oh, this is like a stitched jersey
Yeah.
for fucking,
Cheaper.
like half what it would
Yeah.
cost to buy it,
Yeah, because I remember my homies too were getting the replica jerseys, and like, yeah, I got this from wherever, and I got it for cheaper than what they go for at the mall. And I'm like, and they look just like what they were too.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, they're pretty janky. Like right now, like, I mean, any jersey, like if you just type in a player's name on eBay, you could find a jersey for like $40.
For
It's
sure,
fake.
yeah.
It's like fake.
Yeah,
like,
Still giving off the Mitchell Ness.
But the
tag
thing
and all
is
that.
like nowadays, like Fanatics is so trash with their jerseys. It's like you damn near, I don't know, man. I mean, I can't wear no fake jerseys. I see them, and I just be judging people.
You can just tell.
Don't do
now,
it.
yeah.
Don't do it, yo. Don't do it.
Yeah,
yo.
it's rough. It's like, especially like, some of the like more like intricate design jerseys. I'm like, bruh, like even the Kobe shit, like some of the like Mamba Kobe jerseys people be wearing, or the like Crenshaw Laker jerseys. I'm like, full, like that's not a real fucking jersey. Like, but so I went into jerseys and shoes. I was getting dunks. I got banned off eBay at Grip.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't know anything about, I was just getting like Tiffany dunks that were fake, obviously, and then putting them on eBay and like trying to get over on people.
That's crazy.
It was the hustle though.
Yeah. So I was doing that. So that's kind of what it was, just like, I was just always trying to like just get some money,
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hustle mentality.
Yeah, I mean, I had a fucking newborn baby, when I was a senior, so
Oh, well, then, yeah, that'll change your life for sure.
Make you want to make it.
I had to figure some shit out. But yeah, so that was kind of like what I guess inspired me. Like, I just realized, like, I mean, it was illegal as fuck.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
I mean,
you say-
I had orders get hit by customs at Grip.
Really?
Damn.
Just coming through like that?
Yeah, like the jerseys would like get stopped and they'd take them.
Jesus.
So I just have to take an L.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. And at the time, I really couldn't afford to take an L.
Yeah.
Did that influence like your orders? Like, were you getting them like smaller at a time just in
Yes.
case? Like you did take an L on one of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was doing I would do like 80 jerseys at once, and then that shit would get hit, and I'd be like, fuck.
Your whole fucking load right there.
Yeah. So then I was like, I have a list that the lady would send me, the Chinese lady, with all the players that were available. So then I would just take specific orders and be like, hey, it's gonna take like a month to get here, like. But LaDainian Tomlinson Charger jersey was cracking back then.
Yeah. I bet.
That's the one right there, yeah.
LT,
That powder blue, huh?
Yeah.
that LT was booming.
Yeah, for sure.
It was like LT, and who else was cracking? Fucking Alamalu, fucking.
Yeah.
All probably went crazy.
Yeah, somebody on the. I'm trying to think who was on the Dolphins at that time. It was definitely LT. Oh, Ocho Cinco or Chad Johnson at the time. That Bengals jersey was cracking for sure.
Yeah. So speaking about, some of those times when you were, bootlegging those, what are some of the, I guess most memorable moments or the most memorable times during your career doing that? I guess
I mean, honestly, man, it was just like I really didn't have anything else. I didn't have any idea I was gonna do anything. I always wanted to do radio. I went to high school. In high school, I was doing radio shit at my high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I had no clue that there was
It was going to
a
be what it
career
was.
or there was any sort of it was for me. I knew it was for me, but I just didn't know if they knew, Yeah, so I would just say, man, at the time, just being at the swap meet, getting there early, and just, I mean, I used to steal ink from the Office Max so I could print mixtape covers.
How to make it, do what you got to do.
I would steal hella ink from the demo printers.
Pop out the cartridge.
Yeah, as soon as I would go in, take that shit out.
Thank you.
That's mine.
Yeah, me and my baby mama, my baby mama would go in and steal hella shit that we needed.
Bro, she was in on it.
Yeah.
That's dope. Rider.
Yeah, so it was definitely it was just I don't know, dude, just the whole time was just I guess it was fun when new shit would come out and you'd be like, oh shit, now I gotta find a high quality version of the artwork so I could print it so it doesn't look like shit.
Yeah.
And then sometimes there wouldn't be any artwork for some albums that would come out. And then we just find some fake shit online or a picture of this fool and then we used to put together a mixes. So I would put a mix together with whatever the big songs on the radio.
Yeah.
Just a compilation of the
Right.
number ones. Yeah.
That shit would crack too. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was cool. It was definitely interesting. I almost got arrested a bunch. The sheriffs would come through and shut down a lot of people's tents and shit. I got banned a grip, fucking almost fought fools. There was a dude who was selling oldies and Chicano rap, but the real CDs.
Yeah.
And he fucking hated.
He's taking all my money.
Beefing with the Chicano.
Yeah, because we're it was an old black dude. That's what's funny. I forget the name of it. I think it was Slow and Low Records no, not Slow and Low. Maybe. There's a place called Slow and Low. I'm not sure that was who was at the swap meet, but yeah, this fool was a hater though. Always snitching, bro. We're not even selling the same artists. I know I'm not paying what you're paying for your CDs, but
Yeah.
you're not even selling the shit I'm selling. You're selling fucking oldies and Little Rob and shit.
He's not even taking your
and
clientele,
fucking high power records and shit.
I know why you mad.
Yeah. But yeah, that was that. I mean, it was just it was a time, bro. It was shit. It was probably 3 years of my life I was doing that shit.
That's dope though, bro. Yeah. That whole era of all that. I remember I used to go to the fucking grocery store or whatever and then they have the fucking DVDs of all the unreleased shit.
Yeah, even that. I was doing the DVDs, the movies. I mean, we were
The
doing
bootleg
it all.
movies were crazy.
Yeah.
Shit, you
I
got
remember
people walking up in the middle.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yes, yeah,
It was
that
a
was different. I didn't get too into the DVDs because I didn't have a DVD burner. My homie did, and back then it was the burning game, and DVDRs are a little more expensive, and my computer wasn't that fast, so downloading a whole movie was.
It wasn't worth it.
Yeah, and then motherfuckers really was standing up and they were shitty versions of the movie.
Yeah, for real. I think I still have a knockoff White Chicks at my house. Not gonna lie.
Someone would stand up, or if there was a laugh, you would hear the crowd laughing.
Straight up.
But some of them were that, but they were so good quality you wouldn't
Some of
even
them,
tell until there was a laugh,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, "Oh shit, this
or
is
a little head bubble up maybe.
whoever filmed this had a great camera."
Yeah.
No, for sure.
They went late night too, where no one's in there.
Or they probably knew someone at the theater, and they were just like, "Hey, fool, I'm about to
get
Set me
mine.
up, yeah.
don't send nobody in to bother me."
No, that's
crazy.
hilarious.
Yeah. That'd be funny.
But all that shit was cracking. I mean, I don't even know if I don't think people still leak movies. I don't know. Maybe they do.
Maybe, yeah.
You can go on some
They
streaming
do on
sites.
streaming
and
websites.
sometimes
There'll be those
yeah.
ones that
Fuck,
they're
I don't know.
videotaping it.
Yeah.
But
It's the same shit.
it's trash.
Yeah.
It's something from somebody who did it during the premiere or something. Or
Got it.
on.
Yeah, I don't even
type
know,
thing.
man. I'm not. I don't even know the last movie that came out that I was like,
Excited for
I
it.
need the boot.
I need to watch this now.
Definitely, I would say the same.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
No, but talking about that, how would you say that influenced you as a businessman and entrepreneur?
I don't know, man. I think it obviously has some influence because, I think the main thing is, I really didn't have another way of making money at that time. So at a certain point in time, I ended up interning at the station, so I wasn't getting paid for that. And then I ended up getting a job with my uncle at a car lot that he owned. And I would burn the CDs in the office. And then I got caught doing that. He fired me.
Oh man,
Damn.
Hey, he don't wanna
I was
see
using
Youngboy
his
win.
computer because that computer was fired. But no, I would just say,
Intel processor on that thing.
I think like when you go through that kind of shit, like, it's like real. I will say this, like it kind of shows you like supply and demand's a motherfucker, man. So it's like at that time in Arizona, there was not a lot of like access to like, mixtapes and all that shit. Like unless you were like online savvy,
Yeah.
So, it just kind of taught me like, well, fuck, if people want something, like you give it to them, they'll come,
Mhm.
Keep coming back.
It also taught me like doing illegal shit is not too sustainable for too long.
Yeah.
Only lasts good for so long.
Yeah, like
The fun always
Man,
ends.
it risks for real.
yeah, like I think I forget when I stopped doing it, but I mean I ended up just getting banned from the major swap meets,
Yeah,
and then it just didn't make sense. It was like, well, fuck, like,
this is it.
and then I moved to Idaho to take a
Yeah.
radio gig, but yeah, it just was like I didn't have a spot to sell shit. A few of the stores I was like hustling to ended up closing down. And then by then there was like a lot more people who were doing what I was doing. And it was like, man, I don't have like these fools are having like fucking 20 CD towers where they're burning 20 CDs at once. And I had like 2. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was just cool. It was like, it was a cool, it just, I think it was just an era of music, man. It was like, everybody was trying to get Mitchell and S jerseys and dunks and
Yeah.
fucking, and mixtapes were the shit.
Yeah.
It was
Walk-
fun to be
I
alive.
was gonna say, walk us through like during that time where you were actually breaking tracks and records and stuff. Like when you were, showcasing. Like we watched the interview where you're breaking Kendrick. You're breaking.
Yeah, so I
all
ended
that
up
underground.
Yeah,
era,
yeah.
like
So
the
I ended up.
specific era.
So in high school, I had a radio show called Ready Set Radio, and that was just like me and my friend David did the show, and it was a mile around the school. I ended up working at the radio station. Eventually, they gave me like a version of that show. At the time,
Yeah.
it was called Friday Night Flavors. And so on that show, which then I took with me everywhere I went. I was in Vegas, I was in Boise, I was everywhere. I ended up renaming it Ready Set Radio when I left Phoenix, so I could keep that OG high school name.
That's dope.
And yeah, it was like a late night, Sunday night, like 10 p.m. to midnight show where we just played like blog era rap
Yeah.
for real.
That was the
But
best-
also
best
classic
time.
shit that we loved.
Yeah.
Like we would play like Big L and like old Nas, old Wu-Tang, like, but we'd also play like all the dope blog era shit that we loved. We were cleaning up all the music ourselves.
That's dope.
So like I think the first song from Kendrick we ever played might have been Michael Jordan
Oh, that song's tough.
or Pussy and Patron.
Damn.
That's,
I think
that was the time.
Yeah.
I think it was Pussy and Patron or Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, bitch.
Yeah, but we cleaned them shits up, like it was
Yeah.
like Pussy and Patron sounded crazy
Yeah.
because it was like we were reversing. I mean, yeah, we didn't have the instrumental to make a proper clean, and we weren't very audio talented at the time. But yeah, like guys like Kendrick and Cole
Yeah,
and
J. Cole.
even before them, like fucking Pill and early Wale shit, fucking Yellow Wolf, Big Crit. Trying to think, like in the 08 era, we were playing like kids,
Miller.
cool kids these days, kids in the hall, fucking Pac Div, just hella like that. I think the cool kids wave was crazy. So we were like,
Yeah.
we're heavily supporting the cool kids. But yeah, that was just like a whole, like that was from like shit. I did that all the way up until from like 08 to like till I moved to LA. So that was in 2000. When did I move here? 2017.
Oh.
So I did that show from 08 to like 2016. From everywhere from, Phoenix, Tampa, Vegas, Boise, Idaho. Whatever city I was at, I would do my normal radio show, like the afternoon show or the night show, whenever, Monday through Friday, and then on Sunday nights I'd be able to get my shit off.
That's dope. Dude.
That's what I was gonna ask. Isn't that where you kind of birthed kind of that transition to putting a lot of the freestyles and interviews and things on YouTube?
Yeah. So that started when I was in Idaho. I would see Peter Rosenberg would film stuff on a flip cam. And I forget what he used to call it, flip cam, some shit. So I bought a flip cam. And I already was like super rap blog nerd. And so the first interview I put up that ended up getting posted was a Fat Joe fucking phone call. Where Fat Joe called into my radio show. And I think I would like edit visuals over, like behind his, like the audio of the call, and put it on YouTube, and then the blogs would pick it up. And then the first interview I ever filmed that went viral was I talked to The Game in Idaho in his hotel room right after Chris Brown beat up Rihanna.
Damn. That's
so,
memorable.
Yeah, so that interview came out, went on YouTube. TMZ posted it. It was all over. It was like trending on YouTube, and I didn't even know what the fuck any of that meant, to be honest. That was in 2009. And from there, any piece of content that I captured, if it was a phone call, I'd put it on YouTube, and I would try to send it to whatever emails to these blogs I had, like Two Dope Boys or Now Right or whatever the fuck. And like during that time, like I had a Nipsey freestyle that dropped. That was in 2009. That was in Idaho. He was opening up for Game on the LAX tour. That was the same run. So it was like Game and Nipsey in the same like day, damn near, we filmed. Murs, Tech 9 were there.
That's dope. How'd you get connected with those guys?
With Murs or Tech 9 or
The Game and
I knew The Game. I used to sell The Game drugs when he'd come to Phoenix. So I was an intern. When I was an intern at the radio station, I sold him weed once. And then his artist was Juice from Phoenix. And so I ended up getting cool with Juice. And I forget who I was connected with in Game's camp. Probably his brother, who I'm still cool with. I forget. But I just remember selling weed to Game, going to his hotel room in Phoenix in like 2008 and bringing him weed and connecting that way. He had a homie named Avante Rose, AR, who's passed away. Yeah, crazy situation where he killed his girlfriend and killed himself, I believe.
Jeez. Cheese and crackers, brother.
Yeah, I think it was AR. Yeah. Rest in peace to AR. Yeah. So AR was kind of like the Whack before Whack.
Oh, shit.
He was a part of Game's crew before Whack came on board.
Okay.
Way before. So, yeah. And then, so like when they were in Boise, I just pulled up to his hotel and we were hanging out, and I was like, yo, can I interview you real quick on camera before? Like, so it's still on YouTube. I interviewed him while he was playing 2K or MLB. I forget.
Damn.
That's dark.
But that was like the first thing that ever like was like pretty viral.
Yeah.
And then I just was like, I don't know, like I just figured like I wanted to talk to the artist that I was listening to online, and like I had Freddie Gibbs call into my show, and like Freddie's one of the first artists I ever broke for real, Ritz too, shout out to my brother Ritz. But yeah, so like I would like there's like a Freddie Gibbs phone call from 2009 on my YouTube channel, like an interview over the phone. I interviewed like Pusha T. I would just try to get fools to call into my shit. Raekwon, Pusha, who else? Fat Joe, yeah. But yeah, from there, when I went to Vegas, was when shit really turned up, because then I had a lot of people actually physically coming to the station, It was Vegas.
Access just went
crazy through the roof,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so like when I was in Vegas, shit, bro, we have J. Cole freestyles, Kendrick freestyles, interviews with both of them cats. I mean, whoever you could think of that was relevant from like 2010 to late 2012 was on my show.
Yeah.
Like everybody. Like anybody from the blog era pretty much was on my shit. Like
That was the time for real.
Yeah,
like,
no, for real.
that was
That was like our
time.
childhood. So
Yeah.
for real to hear that.
Yeah, I think the blog era is like the best
Yeah.
era of rap for real, because it was like the curators. Obviously, there were gatekeepers, but the
Yeah.
gatekeepers had good taste.
Yeah, tastemakers.
You know, like all them blogs, like for the most part, had good taste. So like, there was like the gatekeeping wasn't bad at that time.
Yeah.
Because like nowadays, it's like if something goes crazy algorithmically, it's gonna be on Rap Caviar, even if it sounds like shit.
Yeah. You can't control it like you used to.
Yeah, it's like in order to get on Two Dope Boys back in the day, like you actually had to be kind of tough. Like them fools weren't taking money for posts, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that era. The blog era was crazy.
Yeah.
From like 09 to like 2015, 14, that shit was
Yeah.
lit.
Would you say you have a favorite maybe record or artist that you had a hand in breaking or changing the trajectory towards, or would that kind of be hard?
So I was the first. So at the time in Vegas, I was the mix show coordinator, and then at the radio station. So I was the first person in America to put J. Cole below. What was his first single? Not Workout. The one that
Who that?
Yep.
Yeah. Fire.
Put that in the mix show. Was the first person to play Workout. I was so early on playing Workout that I was playing like the demo version that Ebe sent me.
Damn.
And the label had to be like, yo, what is this version? I'm like, bro, fucking Ibrahim sent it to me, dog. Like,
That's fire.
That shit's hard.
Connected for real.
Yeah, I mean, trying to think. I mean, a lot of shit, like, in terms of, like, my hands being on the record, like, I A&R'd, like, the Ritz Mike Posner shit that I got both plaques up there. They both went gold. Well, they're actually both platinum now.
Fire.
But, yeah, I A&R'd both of those.
Okay.
Like, Mike Posner and, like, Ritz is... Mike and Rich are, like, two of my closest friends in the game. And at the time, Mike was, like, trying to tap in with, like, up-and-coming rappers.
Okay.
And I was like, fool, you got to check out Ritz. This fool's crazy. And he was like, dog, set up a session. And then they ended up cutting, like, 5 records, and 2 of them are platinum.
That's crazy.
So
also talking about, like, that time period in your life, kind of take us through chasing down some of these, interviews or records earlier on in your career, and like maybe how tough that was for you.
It wasn't that hard, man. I mean, honestly, so what I would do is Twitter was a tool I would use where I would, on Sunday nights, either me or an intern, any song I played on the radio would be hashtag NP now playing, and I tag the rap artist with the song name and with on at Hot 97.5 Vegas or whatever. So artists would start to notice, like, yo, these fools are playing my music on the radio. Like, who the fuck is this Bootleg Kev fool? Like, and then at the time, like, I had like a very moderate to small name on the blog scene because like sometimes my interviews would go up on like these blogs. So like then it was just easy to like, I would just DM people on Twitter, or they would follow me back because I was playing their shit on the radio, and then obviously I would have like relationships with the labels and they would help me. But it wasn't too hard. It's a lot harder nowadays to get people to pull up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Back then it was like easy for real. Like, fuck. I remember like I had Big Sean and Wiz Khalifa on my show at the same time.
Damn.
Tough.
Sean was opening for Wiz on the Rolling Papers tour.
Damn.
That was a time.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like I had fucking Freddie and Jeezy on my show at the same time. Like when Jeezy first signed Freddie. Yeah, even Wiz, like Wiz is still a close friend to this day. I mean, fuck. First time I interviewed Wiz, it was his tour with Yellow Wolf was opening, and that was the first time I met Wolf too. But I hosted that concert, so I met Yellow Wolf backstage, and I was like, "Hey, fool, like I'm a big fan for real."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then I gave him a crazy ass intro on stage, and then after I did an interview in his dressing room, he's like, "Yo, that was the best intro of the tour. Thank you, bro." And then me and Wolf ended up locking in, which is how I got with Ritz.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Wiz is still my boy. Like I call Wiz right now, pick up. Like I was just in Thailand with that fool for like 2 weeks. So like he's doing my club. He's doing my club on Friday in AZ.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, no shit.
Oh, for sure. Hell yeah.
That's wild.
That's dope, bro.
but like a lot of those like OG relationships, like I still have, you know, like
Yeah.
when I see Top Dog, it's still fucking. He knows me from playing J Rock. You know,
Yeah.
he knows me from that whole era of TDE, and you know, if I see Cole, same thing. It's like love. Like Cole knows
Yeah.
what's up. Like you know what I mean. Like
That's awesome.
but like those guys are so big.
Yeah.
If I see Kendrick today, like he knows. Like I've interviewed Kendrick like 7 times. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not lately because he don't do it, but like
Yeah.
throughout his career, you know,
Yeah.
like it was cool to see like those type of careers just kind of like blossom into what they are now. It's like fuck. At the time, you're not really like feeling like this is like some history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're just a fan, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But all that shit is history, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you've
no,
been
for
you've been a
sure.
part of so many eras, man. Like
yeah, it's
just
crazy.
insane. You're
Even like the
trailblazer on
Drake shit,
YouTube,
like, dude, like I love Drake's like
yeah,
shit. You know, when Drake first came out, like I love So Far Gone, bro. That shit
Oh,
was
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That shit was fire.
Yeah, I was like, damn, this fool's like kind of. That's why I like Drake when he first came out. He was almost like super relatable because he wasn't trying to be too cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he started to want to be too cool, and I was like, man, this fool's corny.
Oh, man.
Like,
shit.
that's why I fucked with Kanye. That's why everybody fucked with Kanye. Kanye was rapping about fucking working at the Gap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. In 2005 to fucking talk about that shit on the like that's wild, you know?
Mhm.
No, for sure.
Was that even 05? That was more like 03. Oh, yeah, it was like 03. Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, nah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's definitely wild, man. But shout out to, you know, the blog era. The blog era was special, man.
Yeah.
Facts. Time
No,
to be alive.
definitely.
For
Definitely.
sure.
I'd for sure say so.
Yeah.
As far as like, you know, you being in that era, like, you know, transitioning into the newer generation of music and stuff, like, do you have any like, you know, specific fan favorites that you've done in recent times? As
I mean,
far
yeah,
as,
the NBA
like,
Youngboy shit people
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
NBA was a dope interview for real.
Yeah, I would just say like it just depends. Like I interviewed Destroy Lonely and people love that interview, and
Yeah.
I'm not into the opium shit at all.
Yeah.
No Playboy stuff?
Yeah, I mean, no, I actually really like the Playboy Cardi album.
The new
Yeah,
album.
the new ones,
yeah, I
The
like
production
that.
is
Yeah, it's
crazy.
tough.
The
Yeah.
beats are crazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
features too are crazy.
2 hours at
Weekend
Rolling
features
Loud.
are- yeah.
2 hours at Rolling Loud was insane too.
Yeah, I was there. I got the fuck out of there once they sounded like they were about to shut it down.
Yeah.
And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna stick around to see these white kids riot. Who else is like from the newer generation? Like I interviewed like Rollo Rodriguez,
Oh, he's
Yeah,
cool.
that
Yeah.
was dope.
and it wasn't like a great interview, but I guess for him it was a great interview because he's
Yeah.
like not the most talkative.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with Young Nudie. Like I remember I did my Young Nudie interview, and mind you, it wasn't great,
Yeah.
but it wasn't bad. And then I saw him do an interview with Academics, and it was horrible.
He
I was
was
like-
fucking with you at least.
I was like, damn. Well, at least like Young Nudie like gave me some. You know, we talked for a minute. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
But all the new shit I love is like, you know, I love like Big X the Plug.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fire.
Mm-hmm.
Dochi's amazing.
Yeah.
Mexican OT.
Yeah.
Who else do I fuck with? I love La Russell.
Oh yeah.
The Russell's cool. Yeah.
The Russ, shout out to Russell for real.
Out of LA, fuck man, I like. Who do I fucking fuck with that? I mean, Peso's dope. Lefty's dope. There's this kid named Marcus Clay from Houston that's super dope.
Marcus Clay.
He can rap his ass off.
Check him out.
Lord Sko from New York is dope. Gorilla Nams I fuck with.
Okay.
I'm trying to think who's in LA. There's a lot of dope dudes in LA. YS, who's a part of Meet the Whoops, is dope. Jay Worthy's dope. Yeah, and then like
Jay
I feel
Worthy's
like
fire.
Larry June is kind of like a
Yeah.
Fire.
he
I fuck
kind of.
with
I mean,
Larry
he's
June.
like an OG though. Like that
Yeah.
feels like damn near like tail end blog era to now.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
But it's been dope to see him kind of like hit his fucking peak and
Yeah.
just like create his own world. Like Larry's the shit, dog. Like that
Yeah, I
album,
fuck with
that's my
Larry
favorite
June.
album of the year. The him and
Yeah.
2 Chainz shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Life is Beautiful track is insane.
That whole
No,
album is
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
and some people don't realize how long he's
Yeah.
been dropping hits, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, that's what's
he's
been around
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, I
That's
remember when we were like in high school and going into college and stuff. He was
Yeah. I'm
dropping
slapping Larry
slappers,
June.
and now it's
Nah,
like
he's been around forever,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
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 It's just crazy because like I feel like people really just started to like, I feel like early pandemic, people started to really, really like pay attention. Like, I mean, he had a cult following for sure for years, but
Oh yeah,
feel like it started to crack on a different level during the pandemic.
Yeah,
Oh, definitely.
San Francisco.
The pandemic changed a lot for sure.
Facts.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because I've seen some of your interviews. You've talked about how much the pandemic changed your life with even just the cultivation of this podcast and everything.
Yeah, man. I mean, the pandemic was like, I don't know, dude. It was like a weird time of life for everybody. It was like, it feels like it was like a year ago. It for real does. But yeah, I don't know. It was just like a weird time personally because like I had like a plan. I opened my studio February of that year, and then March everything shuts down, and so I couldn't afford it to close. So I was the COVID super spreader studio. Like I was the studio like because so all of TDE was using my studio. Pretty much anybody who knew me, who knew I had a studio in LA, was booking my studio. Roddy Ricch was there because Interscope studios were closed. So like my studio was cracking because we were the only fools that like didn't give a fuck about it. Not to say I didn't give a fuck about COVID. I was wearing gloves and shit like a pussy.
The money has to come in though.
Yeah, the money had to come in though.
I was double masked up like
That's
a pussy.
funny.
Thinking back, I was like, damn, you
Had the
was
Lysol
a hoe.
bottle on the hip.
Yeah, you had no idea. Shout out to my engineers because they were
6 feet.
all my engineers didn't give. I mean, one of them did. But he still worked. I'm like, yeah, you know how to work, dog. If you don't want to, you know. Yeah, it was just like, you know, I planned on doing a podcast anyway. Because I just had like false starts. I was supposed to sign. Drink Champs was supposed to do a fucking podcast network. I announced I was going to do a podcast. I shot 2 episodes. One was with Adam 22. One was with Dre London. This was in 2018, 17, 18. No, 18.
Okay.
And Noriega calls me and he's like, yo, hold off on dropping that. I want you to be one of the first podcasts to be signed to our network. And that shit like was a dick tease for like a year.
Oh shit.
And I was like, because he kept negotiating with different companies and we had meetings about it. It just nothing ended up coming of it, right?
Yeah.
So I just was uninspired. I was like, all right, well, this shit sucks. Then I had my studio. So I'm like, all right, well, now I have a recording studio. At the time, radio stations were closed. I was doing my show from the crib. Any interviews I was doing was on Instagram Live, which was hella gay. Everybody was doing Instagram Live interviews.
Yeah.
I had some good ones, like obviously, like, but it was kind of like the IG Live era of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I had
radio.
Quarantine radio.
Quarantine radio was going nuts. Shout out to Tori.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had artists still hitting me up to want to come to the station. Or the label's like, hey, I don't know if you guys are open out there. I'm like, no, we're not. But then I was like, man, fuck this. I got a studio now. Like, I could just do my own shit and the station can't tell me shit. Like,
Yeah.
so that's why I was like, man, I just need to do this podcast shit for real. And I think the first one we ever filmed was with Mozzie. But that was the third one we released.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So my first episode that ever dropped was with Freddie Gibbs. It was Freddie, Scott Storch, and then Mozzie, I think was episode 3.
Yeah.
Oh, fire.
But Mozzie was actually the first one we filmed. And yeah, so yeah, I mean, the podcast just changed my life. And then by the time December 2020 hit, I got let go from iHeart. I launched my syndicated show March 2021. And shit, now I'm on like 100 markets here every day, you know?
Congrats, man. Amazing.
For sure.
Yeah.
The whole resume, man. It's insane.
But yeah, no, pandemic was crazy, man. Shit, people were getting money, boy. Oof.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I wasn't. I'm so glad I did not get convinced to do the PPP. Bro, all my scamming ass homies was like, sweat, bro, you got an LLC. It's easy. I'm like, bro.
It's not that.
But they were the same ones sweating a couple years later, huh?
I mean, one of my homies is in prison for that shit.
Oh,
man.
Sorry to hear.
He was doing that shit on a
Crazy scale.
Yeah. Then another one of
You
my
know.
friends, not in jail yet.
He's flirting
He
with
was
it.
paying homeless people for their socials and shit.
Really? He was one of
Yeah,
them.
I know a few homies that was doing that.
Yeah.
Hey, see how many soldiers you can
Bro.
get. See how many soldiers you can get.
And like, he would hit these ATMs
Yeah.
with those cards and
Mhm.
withdraw cash like he would take like once a week. It'd be like an 8-hour day for him just hitting different ATMs, withdrawing money from these fucking cards. These was it EDD cards or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And this fool didn't even live in California. He lives in Arizona.
What the hell?
So this fool would come out here just because the EDD system in Cali was so fucked.
Yeah, the $600 extra or
Bro,
whatever it was. Yeah.
It was wild, dude.
Oh yeah.
That was a day shift for real.
But people had money like that never had money before, you know? It's fucking wild, dude. But yeah, now the pandemic was, I feel like the pandemic showed people, I always say like, my homie Cassie got a line in one of his records where he's like, the pandemic either showed if you, what the fuck? You either had it, if you had it, it showed during the pandemic, but if it didn't, you never had it to begin with, essentially. Like it really like separated the boys from the men in this shit for real. Cause it was like, hey dog, if you got to just stand on your brand and your hustle and your drive, because the world has shut the fuck down, where you stand, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you survive? You know, like, and yeah, a lot of people, man, and they're selling real estate now that was doing radio. You know, they're fucking working. I got a homie who's an OG in radio, legend in radio. Motherfucker works at an AT&T store as a manager right now, dog.
Oh, damn.
Never bounced back from the pandemic. Like,
That's real.
yeah, I just feel like, you know, the pandemic, if it didn't bring the hustle out of you, like, fuck, I don't know what to tell you, you know?
I don't think it was ever there then.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you should have a, you know, some people are meant to just have 9 to 5s, which is fine, you know? But I feel like, shit, that pandemic was cracking though, man. That was a lot of money.
Oh, definitely.
Getting thrown around.
Looking back for sure.
Shit, man. Yeah, my studio, just the amount of scammers that were booking studio time that sucked at rapping.
Hey, but they paid on time.
Oh my God. And even just like the artists who were getting features off, like, bro, these rappers were cracking fools for features and then not even clearing them. That's the crazy shit. These stupid fucks would pull up on an artist for like 50, 75 grand, pay for the verse, get it recorded at that time. But then when it was time to release it, the label wouldn't clear it. They're on like Atlantic Records or Warner or some shit.
Yeah.
And
Scamming motherfuckers.
Easy look.
yeah, but these fools didn't give a fuck. They just wanted to be like, these fools ain't real rappers. They're like drug dealers that want to rap. And then they would just be able to be like, I have a song with fucking so-and-so.
Yeah. See, we have a video of us in the studio.
Yeah.
Right here.
Or even they'd shoot videos, but it'd be like, good luck.
Yeah, it's not seeing the time of day.
Yeah, no, it was the pandemic was crazy, bro. Yeah. I just can't believe it was so far away. Like it feels like it just ended for real.
No, for sure.
There's still motherfuckers running around with masks on outside and driving in cars by themselves with them shits on.
Yeah, people still be worried about it. Granted, I get it, but
No.
I don't. Not if you're in the car alone. With
that one I don't know. That one I don't
if you're alone in the car with your windows rolled up, hey,
you're good. Gloves on.
are you going to give yourself COVID? Like, what are we doing here?
No, but you know, talking about branching off, doing your own thing with the podcast and everything. Obviously, it comes with a lot of learning lessons, a lot of growing pains. What would you say is like one big, I guess, learning lesson or learning curve that you had that really helped turn this into what it was?
I would say, I would say the biggest hurdle we probably had was not knowing to make YouTube clips longer. So like I would have like an interview and I would clip it up 50 ways or whatever, but one clip might be 2 minutes long and you don't make any money off that on YouTube. There's like not enough time for ads to run. The sweet spot for like clips is like 8 minutes where you can make some money if it goes crazy on YouTube.
Yep.
So we left a lot of money on the table doing that. I would say the camera shit, you know, when we first started, I had 3 different cameras. I was like, I have no idea what the fuck I was doing on the camera side. So like investing in like making sure if you go watch like probably the first, I don't know, 100 episodes of the podcast, it was all 3 different cameras. I think the main thing I think I kind of went through the like learning curve of like all of this shit when it comes to like just putting out content through. I've already kind of been doing stuff on YouTube forever, like on Real 92.3. We had so many like me and my boys are the ones editing all of our interviews, like the Haiti Baby freestyle that went viral. Like,
Oh yeah.
So I kind of already knew a lot about the YouTube shit. I just was, and we were lucky enough to kind of come out with sponsors fucking episode 1 because I had some relationships with some homies at LRG and Odd Socks. So we had them kind of locked in. Well, Odd Socks was day 1. So, you know, figuring out the sponsorship game, which I'm still trying to figure out, but we've done a really good job, like considering it's just me and my homie. And then I guess figuring out like we'd have videos get demonetized and we would just take an L on it, you know, as opposed to like trying to figure out how to get it unyellowed, we'd call it. So like, yeah, if you put a stuff up on YouTube, you think it's going to go, like try to take the curse words out if you can. The monetization is like important, you know, like it's your catalog. So if you have 10 years worth of interviews, 5 years worth of interviews, like that's like almost like a music catalog. You know, if you have like dope interviews that people want to go back and watch, people will like go back and watch them. Like I still like, I feel like, you know, I've had people come up to me about hella old interviews that I've done, like, you know, where they're like, yo, I just watched this interview from 2018. And I'm like, damn, for real? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't own that interview. It's probably on Real 92.3's YouTube channel. But yeah, I feel like, you know, just figuring out the monetization side, making sure your videos are greened. I think nowadays you have to try to figure out a way to try to build a community on YouTube. Like I was lucky enough to kind of get in like where like I already had a name and I already had like I had a great network. Like I was me, you know? So I was like, fuck, I know everybody. Everybody's going to pull up, you know? So I didn't have to go through the learning curve somebody starting from scratch did, you know? Where I'm like, damn, how do I get guests?
Mm-hmm.
How do I get people to want to come through?
Yeah.
I never had to go through that.
Yeah.
So I was lucky in that. I would just say, if you are a new podcast, if you are trying to garner attention, you got to build a community. And if you're going to be like a guest-driven podcast, you got to try to like figure out how to stand out in an oversaturated game.
Yeah.
And just make sure you're like clipping shit like crazy, because TikTok, Reels, all that shit is like, it's something, you know, like those are the places where you could get the most traction organically, especially TikTok, you know, with a clip, you know.
Yeah.
But do all that shit on YouTube too. But yeah, I guess like, you know, I didn't go through many uphill battles just because my whole career was the battle, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely.
So it's like now I'm still doing the radio shit, but also I have a podcast. So come through for, like, instead of us doing it at Real 92.3 where we used to do it, you come to my shit and we'll do it.
Yeah.
So that's essentially what happened.
Okay.
So I went through all of that shit just as like a radio DJ interviewer since 2000 and, you know, fucking shit since like 06, 07, 08. So I had to kind of go through a lot of that shit on the radio side. So when I did the YouTube channel, it wasn't as big of a learning curve, but the little shit, man, like the cameras and trying to figure out like, I still let people smoke on the podcast if they insist.
Yeah.
But like if people smoke on the podcast, it's hard to get it monetized. TikTok takes it down.
Yeah.
Damn.
You'd prefer people not smoke, but if it's like Baby Kia was just here, who's like autistic, maybe.
My bad.
I'm not gonna tell Baby Kia you can't smoke. This kid is,
Yeah.
he's an interesting guy,
Yeah.
and he seemed like he really. I was like, go ahead, buddy, go for it. I doubt this is
yourself
getting
out.
monetized anyway, because
Yeah.
we talk about some crazy shit, you know.
Already. Yeah.
And
when it goes to that, like talking about crazy shit, like the monetizing and all that, like.
Oh yeah, I'll talk about anything. I mean, dude, the podcast that we're about to drop with Mexican OT, probably is going to come out Monday or Tuesday, is one of the most cancelable, disrespectful, insane podcasts I've ever done.
Yeah.
Because since the last time he was on. So,
Yeah.
do you guys know who Thomas is from Dope as Yola?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the homie. So we did an interview with OT. OT's he's like my little brother. Like I love him. Me and his dad are really close. OT's like, that's my dog.
Yeah,
I've
he's
been to his
super cool.
Nana's house. Like, So we did an interview like last year, and it just was a shit show. It was him. I had Yellow Wolf in the background, standing there, drinking. It was me, OT, OT's dad, Yola, and like, I forget who, it was the most random. So me and his dad split an eighth of shrooms right before the podcast.
Start off as a party.
Yola shows
Eighth,
up,
huh?
a whole eighth. I mean,
Sheesh.
Yola shows up with a fucking dab rig.
There we go.
So this whole podcast,
It's a party.
fool, when I tell you I'm blasted.
Blasted.
I'm like looking at them like this, but in my peripheral, it's a campsite with a fire.
Oh man.
So I'm thinking we're like sitting next to a lake.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
That's
crazy.
a good time right there.
So, but his dad started crying during the interview.
oh man,
He had to like stand up and walk out.
it got real.
No.
Yeah.
But OT fell on the ground after taking a dab. It was hilarious.
Oh.
You be
So-
dabbing tough.
Yes, crazy. So
Yeah.
we just did another one, and I was like, yo, like Yola came back, and it was not as out of control in terms of like the amount of drugs we were on,
Yeah.
but like we literally were just getting high and dabbing for like 3 hours straight on camera.
You take dabs yourself?
I'm not a big dabber,
Oh, okay.
but I always dab with them. I smoke,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
but that dab shit's different, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's crazy. It's
If you hit a
something
hot one, bro, that shit.
else. You're done. You're gonna need some milk.
We some dabbers over here.
Yeah, we take
Yeah.
dabs over here.
Dabbers.
I'm not
Yeah.
much of a tree smoker. Like I'll smoke. I'll roll up every now and then if somebody does, but
No, the dab shit is violent, man. It's violent.
it's a different
Throw me
game
on
for
fire.
Sure. Yeah,
That's the thing.
Throw me
Yeah.
on fire, spot.
And then I want to hit it like it's a joint,
Oh yeah,
that's my problem if I try.
but you're not supposed to hit it that way. They're always like blow it out, and I'm like,
yeah.
so like we just did an interview that was just so wild, dog. Like
It's a cloudy one.
I had this fool talking to Grok, like sex talking Grok, like live on the show. It was fucking nuts.
That's hilarious. I'm looking forward to seeing that one.
But yeah, but like, so what we want to do is we're like, yo, this is the second time we've done this. We should do like once a month or once every like 2 months. Me, Drody, OT, and Yola. Almost like Joe Rogan does like Protect Your Parks every.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, we should just do this like every 2 months, fool, where we just all get high as fuck and
Come
Just-
back together. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
like-
How was that hunting trip that you went on?
Oh, that shit was sick. Yeah, I was in Bay City, OT's hometown, and I'm not a big hunter. Actually, I've never hunted in my life,
So that
so
was your first
Yeah.
time right there?
1000%.
That must have been an experience,
Hey,
man. That shit.
It was fun, man.
Yeah.
First time
Um,
shooting as well, or was that?
No, I've shot before,
Okay.
but in terms of like killing an
Yeah,
animal,
yeah.
never done it.
It's crazy.
It was interesting,
Yeah.
but they made me feel good about it. They're like, look, these are invasive species. They kill dogs, they kill pets. They
Yeah.
Make you feel
so in my head, I'm like, well, I'm gonna save me a dog today.
lacy you up.
That ain't no
Yeah,
dog. That's
fuck
family.
these. I told him though. I said I ain't shooting a coyote. I said
Yeah.
if we see coyotes, I ain't shooting it because
Oh,
that
no?
looks like a dog to me.
Yeah.
Coyotes, they do damage though to pets and all that too.
Nah, coyote's a little baby dog, bruh.
I'll tell you what, man, they'll do some damage.
No, it was cool. I mean, it was like literally hanging out of a helicopter.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Though,
Shooting
yeah.
a fucking-
I've seen the videos like on TikTok and all
Yeah,
that
it's wild.
shit,
It was
but yeah.
wild. It
yeah.
was.
No,
That's
yeah,
true.
I remember when you dropped it. I watched it, and I even wanted to ask about that because even that one's one of your most popular videos
Yeah.
on YouTube. Seeing your vlog with NBA
Yeah,
Youngboy,
yeah.
one of the most popular. You just had that one in Thailand. That was
Yeah.
a great vlog.
Yeah, I'm gonna start vlogging a lot
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
What got you into that? Where's it going with that?
Yeah,
And
so I
kinda-
think that's kind of like we actually just kind of reformed my team a little bit on the pod side, so we could just do more vlogs. Like I want to do like one a month. I'm about to go do one. I just told you guys with somebody up near where you guys are at.
Mhm.
And then yeah, we just did like I just dropped kind of a vlog interview. Like we went to DDG stream yesterday.
Oh, yeah, we checked that out. Yeah, that was cool.
Breaking
Okay.
Spaces. How was that, man? Like in that streaming
Dude,
space.
that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Was that your first stream you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well, like
dope.
DDG's my boy.
Yeah.
You know, like so he's like a YouTube pioneer.
He is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
definitely
crazy.
is.
That he's
And so now he's like but he's newer in the streaming shit.
Yeah.
But just to go and see like that it's a whole other world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a whole production, like
No,
crazy.
his shit is insane.
Yeah.
Like if you guys go watch it on my YouTube channel, like we do a whole behind the scenes of like his production setup and
Yeah.
so he just Airbnb'd a crib and there's like cameras all over the house.
I mean, I seen the guys coming.
Yeah, there's a
checking his
control
mic and
room.
stuff.
There's a
Yeah.
fucking control room.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick. But yeah, so like, we did like a vlog-ish version of what we saw yesterday.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna just do more vlogs. Like, you know, the Thailand one was cool because it wasn't artist driven and it still did like 50K. I was like, oh well, this is kind of cool. Like, this was just me like fucking off in Thailand for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we definitely gonna start doing more shit. Like, I'm gonna go to me and OT are gonna do another one where we go mudding.
Oh, that'd be cool.
nice.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
lit.
With
Yeah.
the ATVs and all that. Or
Yeah,
the-
and then he has like 6 cars he wants us to blow up.
Oh, that's sick. That'll be
He's like,
sick.
yo, we gotta.
Yeah.
He's like, I got these 6 cars. My boy, he's got a spot. He's like, we could.
Like blow up.
He's like, we could C4 them. We'll like, we'll
Oh,
wire them and
damn,
we'll blow them up.
Damn.
I was like,
Clear.
So, that'll be sick.
Yeah, that's tight.
I want to go do like a tour of Currency's cars.
Oh yeah, he's
Oh,
got a
shit.
collection.
So they've
For sure.
like
Nice
his
collection.
manager said like, yo, if you come to New Orleans, we can shoot that. Like,
Oh,
I want to
yeah.
just start doing more cool shit. Like,
yeah.
it's fun and it's different, man. And then we're gonna start doing just different shit on the channel that isn't necessarily artist driven.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the new pivot. I'm gonna start. We just literally made some changes to my pod team. Not like anything bad or anything, but just switched up some structures and we're gonna do some different shit for sure. I got 2 new sets I'm building out. I don't know if I'm gonna do the streaming shit, bro.
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask you about
Yeah,
that because we
different
saw in the
reason.
DDG interview / vlog you were talking about possibly dipping into that world. I wanted to see what your thoughts were. On
I don't
that. How
know,
was
man.
it?
It's I just don't know. I don't know what I don't know. It feels like a young man's game, and
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
38, dog. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like the most organic thing I could do, and I was thinking like, okay, I wouldn't mind doing more news-driven shit where I give my opinion on something that's going on. Nothing messy because I don't like to get into the messy shit.
Yeah.
Or like listening to an album first, like on
Yeah.
like, because I have a YouTube community. So if I did a live stream on YouTube, let's say a big album's anticipated. I know Academics kind of does it, but I don't think Academics has like the hip hop chops like I do respectfully, you know, like,
Yeah.
Facts.
and I wouldn't even, he's not going to listen to a fucking Larry June album on stream. Like, I
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
But I think that might be like a little, like I want to do different shit for sure. Cause the interview shit is cool, but it's like at the end of the day, there's only so many times you can interview somebody. So it's like,
Yeah.
and then bringing people into, it's like, cool. Well, like I'm doing Wiz in a week, 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, if I had a stream or I had a different type of show, I could bring Wiz on that isn't just
Yeah.
a podcast. Like we could do something like that, you know? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. I'm trying to figure the streaming shit is interesting.
Yeah.
I would
It's
do it on
different.
YouTube,
It's taking
though.
over
Yeah.
the game, man.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
It's a
I don't know
different
how
wave.
sustainable it is.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
different
long
wave.
term.
Yeah, 'cause it's cracking right
It
now.
really
Yeah.
appeals to
Right.
the younger crowd right
But
now.
I'm saying like it's cracking right now.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be
right
cracking
now,
in 10
yeah.
years?
It's gonna be cracking in 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And will the
Maybe.
content style even be the same? Because right now you've seen it's a lot of like provocative clip farming type.
All that clip farming
Yeah.
shit is
It's
it's to
insane.
me it's like I get it, but you know the one thing I don't understand, like I had my homie is one of the producers on Neon's whatever Neon's got going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was like, yo, we should do an IRL thing. I think it would help like push your brand and all this other shit. And I was like, buddy, one, I don't want to get canceled. Two, there's just a certain amount of my life like I don't want the world to see. I don't personally want people to invest in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the way people are invested in Adam 22 and like
Oh,
all
yeah.
the drama and
Yeah,
his
yeah.
girl and all that shit.
Those
I'm like,
relationships, yeah.
I'm just good, dog. Like,
Yeah.
I'm straight.
Stay out of that shit.
It's a lot.
Like I don't want that,
Yeah.
like at all.
You
like-
protected your image like for this long too.
Yeah, I don't want none of that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, and fuck. That's why, like, I've known Adam forever, and anybody who knows Adam, like, should not be surprised that they have threesomes and he let a dude bang his chick. Like, it's like this is what they do. They've been doing porn for fucking
Yeah.
ever, dog. Like,
It's insane.
Yeah.
these fools are porn stars.
Yeah. As soon as he started getting into the porn space, I completely like I watched the little bit of videos before he like really started
But
talking
even
about
before that, even before Plug Talk,
Yeah.
he was fucking his girl on I would see him and be like, dog, why am I on Pornhub and I see your fucking dick, bro? Fuck. You know, but
That's insane.
this is like, he's comfortable with that. That's his world. I could never, not even on the, like, I can't even disrespect him and his girl's relationship because I mean, you know, love is love. Like, it is what it is. Like, you could judge him if you want, but just the messy shit, I'm good, dog. Like,
too much
I don't
drama.
need that.
I don't need security. I don't want security. I don't want to go out and be like, somebody thinks that I fucking, that fool be playing a lot, man. And I'm like, hey, man. You know, and I always say, like, Adam's a good guy. That's my guy, you know, like, but he be playing a lot with this other shit. And I'm like, dog, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. I'd be too stressed to be fucking with all this fucking gang talk. Can't do it.
Everything that comes with it. No, keep me out of it.
He loves it though.
No, for sure, and it works. I watch the shit. Fuck, what are we talking about? You know,
It's provocative.
As soon as the Big U shit happened, I was like, yo, I gotta watch. What the fuck's going on with No Jumper? Let me watch this first show to see what's up with Brick Baby. Like,
and then he gets looped into the whole.
No, it's crazy. It's a crazy thing. Like, it's wild, you know, and but I think for me, it's just like there's certain shit like, one, I know I come from a different background, you know, so I understand like what comes with a lot of shit, you know, like I grew up in a horrible area. My whole family's in prison, you know, my uncles are bikers. My cousins were all fucking jack boys or dope dealers. Like, I understand what comes with this shit, and it's prison time and death. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like to fuck around with that shit too much, you know? It's like, I'm supposed to go meet with EBK J-Bo, and like, I tell you what I'm not going to do. Talk to him about his beef with fucking, you know, MB Nell. I'm not talking about none of that shit because I'm friends with MB Nell. Like, I'm not bringing that shit up.
Yeah, for real.
Go watch Swamp Stories.
There's an account for that, you know?
Yeah, fuck that. I'm gonna try to just like kick it with this fool and show everybody he's not a fucking serial killer. Like, like, oh look, this guy is a normal dude. Maybe, I don't know. You know?
No, and that's dope. That's dope.
But it's like, like I ain't tripping. Like, I keep those views. You know, I know I could get more views. I could stir up all kinds of shit. I'm good, bro.
So why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you want to?
I mean, people, you know, fuck, there's money in that shit, dog. For real. It's like, there is money in that, you know? There's a reason why, like, Swamp Stories has a big channel.
Hell yeah.
That dude's smart, though.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows what he looks like.
Yeah.
He keeps it under wraps.
All those channels where you don't see the person, they're smart.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter.
But they're connected somehow. They know every single little fact.
Yeah, that dude is. He be trolling people too.
He starts. Yeah, you see what he's. Yeah, the EBK people. Everybody like he starts trolling him.
He was going at this little kid in Fresno. I'm supposed to interview. What's his name?
Yeah, baby.
Is it? He just DM'd me today. I'll tell you.
What's his name? Yeah. He's the one in the barbershop,
the
right?
Fresno Bulldog.
Oh, Fresno.
No, I don't know.
His name is Faye 300.
Oh, thank you.
Them guys, like, that's why I'm like, yo, why? Like, Trap Lord Ross is tripping. Like, this fool should have just stayed in the UK. This fool's doing rap videos with Adam and Brick Baby. And I'm like, fool, like, you're tripping. Like, you're a UK dude. Just stay over there. Like, you had it made. Like, you know, I think who does a good job of doing the news stories that I like, I've been watching Flacco's channel a lot.
Okay.
Yep.
Flacco's been a good, like, all the shit that's going on in the streets, or like with this indictment and the Yellow Beezy shit. Like, I just watch Flacco's shit. He does a good job of breaking it down, reading through the things, and I feel like he does it in a not too disrespectful way, where he's just reporting the news.
Yeah.
Do you yourself have any like favorite podcasts, like as far as like
on YouTube, if I'm gonna watch some shit about like some drama, I'll watch Flacco shit, or I really don't watch the hood documentaries, bro. I can't do it.
Yeah.
If it's about some people I know, maybe. Like, I just watched one like 6 months ago because I knew everybody and I kind of knew what was actually happening. And I was like, I wonder how spot on this shit is. Yeah. In terms of podcasts, shit, man, I fuck with Joe Rogan, obviously.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love.
What about Fig Community World? You tapped in with them?
I mean, those are the homies.
Yeah.
I don't really watch their shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes like my guy AD just did a podcast with Problem and Glasses Malone right around the time Snoop's album dropped, and I love that episode. That shit was fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I like Community with Pun and AD together. I watch that a lot more than I watch Figmunity.
Oh, for sure.
I liked Figmunity a lot more when MacWap was on there.
Yeah.
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 He's a character.
No, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't really watch. I mean, honestly, I listen to a lot of sports podcasts. Bill Simmons, fucking Kevin O'Connor, who's a NBA podcaster. Colin Cowherd shit. Any fantasy football shit I watch, I listen to. And then on the music side, there's Chris Williamson has a dope podcast that's just about like self-help and shit. He's super dope. If you're like just like a dude and you just need like some interesting conversations, I listen to Lex Friedman depending on who he's got on his show.
That's dope.
In terms of like hip hop, I would say I catch Joe Budden shit every once in a while.
It's all over
Oh,
Twitter
man.
though. It's
Yeah.
X now, but
Right. I watch
Yeah.
those clips. If I'm on a road trip though, man, shit, I'm probably just Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon's my favorite.
okay.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Flagrant's my shit.
Flagrant's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, flagrant stuff.
Flagrant with Andrew and Akash is my shit. But yeah, if I'm on a road trip, man, I'm banging out like a Bill Simmons podcast about sports or like a 3-hour banger that Rogan has. Depending on who he talks to, that will be talking to a lot of fucking just fools I don't agree with now. So it's like, you gotta pick and choose, dog.
I
Like,
feel that.
but yeah, but I would say, and then there's a show on YouTube I watch called Breaking Points, which is like a political news show that's like shows both sides of Crystal and Saga are the hosts. So they show like Crystal's like super liberal, Saga's super conservative, and then they do the news together. So you get both kind of perspectives, if that makes sense. So
Okay.
That's interesting.
yeah,
That's dope.
yeah. I try not to watch too much hip hop podcasts, to be honest. It's just I'm living this shit.
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
Right,
That's
yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. You're living in it,
Convoluted
right?
space, Too.
Yeah, it just depends too. Like if I'm interviewing somebody and I'm like, oh, let me see if they did some shit recently. Let me go watch some shit. Like, yeah, like
Brush up on them.
I fuck with Willie or with Wally and Gillo. Like
Yeah.
Millions of Dollars Worth of Game is dope. Obviously the Breakfast Club's a Breakfast Club. I like the Big Facts podcast out of Atlanta.
Mm.
My guy Danza's dope
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
No, Dan's
in Miami.
for sure.
I'm trying to think who else in the hip hop space. There's a dude in the Bay who does the history of the Bay, Dredge
Oh
One.
yeah, Dregs one. He's fire. His pod's fire.
I like his shit. In LA. I do watch No Jumper a lot. Actually, I wouldn't say a lot. When there's like some peak No Jumper
Yeah.
drama going on, I'll be like, I'll
Yeah.
take a, I'll be like,
He's like, I'm gonna watch.
I
the
like
extended
him and
cut.
Wack. I like Adam and Wack's show a lot. That shit's great. Like Wack is fucking incredibly entertaining as a fucking
Yeah.
personality. So
They're entertaining for sure.
yeah, Wack is great. And like, however you feel about Adam, like Adam's a great conversationalist. So it's like I could watch him and Wack go back and forth about shit forever. Big Boy's a legend. I love Big Boy.
Big
Oh,
Boy's
yeah.
tough.
No.
He's cool. Yeah. We like
Love
him.
Big
Yeah,
Boy.
Big Boy's that motherfucker for sure. But yeah, I would say like mostly it's non-music shit. It's sports or it's like news or like aliens or, I don't know. I'm just interested in learning new shit. Like I just watched a whole interview with somebody about what was in the JFK files, and they broke down like why Israel was probably involved.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Damn.
But yeah, I would say most of the shit I watch isn't music. I would say maybe 20% of my consumption
Okay.
of content that isn't like TV is music. Outside of that, it's other shit. I'm a big sports fan though, so I listen to hella sports talk, like hella sports.
Yeah.
So
I feel that. And you were talking earlier about even diversifying some of the content you're trying to do. We also see that you've diversified your portfolio in entrepreneurship and your businesses. You got What's Up Though. You got
I got
Well
11,
Seasoned, correct?
Well
1111.
Seasoned. Yeah,
Ready Set the Label.
right.
So many different entrepreneurship avenues you've gone down. Can you kind of talk us through those and kind of how they've intersected in a
Yeah, I
sense?
mean, look, you know, a lot of it all has to do with just like, you know, I realized like my studio was the first big thing I opened where I was like putting up big money and like taking a really big risk, like signing a lease, having like crazy rent. Um, and in my head, I was just like, damn, like I had a couple of homies who were engineers, and we were working out of this building with my artist Alexis and my boy Casey in the studio. I was just like, yo, how much does this fool pay for this spot? Like, I'm just curious, you know? And he told me, I was like, that's not crazy, you know? And in my head, I'm like, well, shit. I always have artists come to town and always ask me for studio. Like, yo, I would interview somebody at the radio station, like, yo, you got to plug on a studio out here. Where should we go? Whatever. So I'm like, well, I'll just fucking open my own and I'll just send them to my shit, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did. Then I talked to y'all earlier about it with the pandemic. And so that worked very well. And then the podcast, I mean, the label thing's been a thing. I've been working with a kid named Alexis for a minute. He used to go by Brown Boy Maj, but his name's Alexis. He was with me on the stream yesterday.
Yeah.
He's dope. He's at Empire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely.
He's got a record with no, not from, he's got a record with MB Nell.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And with your record label, are you trying to just have him as the artist, or are you trying to gain more artists? Under you?
I had other artists
Oh yeah.
that I was working with, and I actually had some company buy out their deals and sign them away for me. Shout out to Ethica Music.
Damn.
Oh,
Shout out Ethica.
Yeah.
Yeah, they dropped a bag, and them fools were like, "Yeah, let's do it." These fools dropping a bag. I'm like, "Cool, dog." Like, I ain't tripping.
Yeah,
shit.
that's what you want.
Business is business.
Business is business.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I would sign other artists. You know, for me, it's just about like, you know, the responsibility of having an artist under you is you're like responsible for their career, you know? So it's like, that's a lot, dude. You know, so it's like, I don't want to just like sign fools just to do it, because that's not fucking fair.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
are you very involved in with your artists and all
super
that?
involved.
Yeah.
Super. Yeah, he's recording here all the time. I'm getting like, we're shooting a video with Lefty next week. His new
Okay.
record's got Lefty on it. He's got a record with Greedo on the way.
Oh, yeah, he's working.
Yeah, he's got a top 50 song at radio right now in the country.
And
The
he's
song
out of
called
Arizona
Baby.
as well, right?
Yeah, he's been out here for a minute, but he's from Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, he just did a Powerhouse in Phoenix in front of like 20,000 people.
Yeah, with
Oh, yeah, he had
310
that.
and
Yeah.
Cactus Boys, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw that. That was dope.
Yeah, so so that's one thing, obviously. And then the club was two of my best friends. I'm a DJ, you know, so I don't DJ in the club anymore as much as I used to, because like I don't have to, you know. But you know, my main guys in Arizona who I've been working with since I was 18, they're like, yo, my boy Corey was like, yo, we got an opportunity to grab up this club. It used to be called Paris. And then we talked about the bread, how much was needed. At the time, I was sitting on a lot of money, and I was like, well, shit, it makes sense to me. So we were like, if we can get this club open and functioning before the Super Bowl comes to Phoenix, and that was in February 2023, like, we're going to make a fucking killing.
Yeah.
So we opened New Year's Eve going into 2023. By the time Super Bowl came, we damn near made $1 million that weekend.
Dang. Sheesh.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
obviously it's
bag
not all
right there.
profit, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still life changing.
But like
yeah,
net,
yeah,
yeah.
to say the least.
I mean, we had to pay like artists. We had Meek Mill. It was when the Eagles and Chiefs were playing each other the first time. So we booked Meek on Saturday. We booked Offset and Cardi B Friday. Thursday was Fab. Sunday was YG and DJ Drama. But that shit was crazy, fool.
Cracking.
That was just like that one weekend got us all our bread back.
That's crazy.
So the club was my friends, you know. So I was like, yeah, I'd love to do stuff with my friends. And then we opened a restaurant together called Well Seasoned, because the space next door to the club opened up. And we're like, yo, we should just grab it so some other Karen ass neighbor don't come through. So we grabbed the restaurant. So we have a restaurant and a lounge. And then when people are in the club, they can order food from next door. And then, we bring the food over to them, to their table or wherever. So that's why we open well seasoned. And then the pizza place was a great location. Right across the street from Porto's in Burbank. And, my partner at the time was a big pizza guy. No longer my partner, but yeah, big pizza guy, and it made sense. I had to buy his ass out, but yeah. So the pizza spot, I mean, it's pizza, man. I fucking love pizza. I live in Burbank. I was like, damn, I live here. The pizza here sucks. There's no place you can get good pizza and wings. So I'm like, I'm gonna fucking open a place that has pizza and wings, and both are gonna be gas. And
Shit. You have to try
Eat
it
my own
out.
shit.
No, yeah,
I know, we have to
we're
try
gonna
it
try
out.
it out
It's
before
right
we
here.
get out of here.
It's like 2 minutes away.
No, for
So,
sure.
we
Yeah,
can
we're
try it
trying
out.
to
For lunch today.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. I can check it out then.
No, that shit's gas. So yeah, so that's why I mean that, and then and then in terms of I guess that's really everything. Yeah, and then obviously the podcast and shit.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I think with the entrepreneurial shit, it's really just like doing shit that makes sense, that feels good. With people you fuck with, and then also like learning to do just because you fuck with somebody doesn't mean you should do business with them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, definitely.
That's what I found out from this pizza place. I was like, not everything's so like the club shit's been so smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause like it's my dogs, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And like them fools really are like on it, you know what I mean? And like I book the artists. I don't live there, so I book artists, handle all the DJ shit, take a call here and there, and then my boys Corey and Davion run everything. So I'm lucky to have those guys, man.
Yeah.
Cause that shit's just a bag every month, like the club shit is smooth, man. The pizza restaurant has been a fucking headache, but it's better now. The headache is gone. But that pizza place showed me like you just got to be careful who you do business with. Just because your friend doesn't mean y'all should do fucking restaurant together. You know what I'm saying?
No, I definitely feel that.
So, but yeah, it's like just doing shit that feels good, makes sense. Shit, now when people finish the interview, I usually take them to the pizza place. I'm like, hey, y'all hungry?
Yeah.
Let me take you over. Get some food.
Slice
We're doing
real quick.
Mozzie's album release there.
Oh, hell yeah.
April 18th.
Nice.
He's gonna have the mozzarella fella, his own pizza.
There you
Yeah.
go. Okay.
Sick.
Every time, yeah.
He be saying that shit. That's part of his lingo. For real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
saying that
so he's
shit.
we got the custom boxes done. We're doing
That's
a collab
fire.
with a pizzeria out in Philly called Down North that's coming out here and taking over our restaurant. They're a pizza spot that only employs ex-convicts.
Okay.
And then like any of
That's
the
dope.
proceeds from the mozzarella fella that gets sold go to this this charity that benefits people who get out of prison and tries to help them kind of get their shit together.
Right on.
That's awesome.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So shout out to Mozzie. That's my
Yeah,
dog.
shout out to the little Miller.
The
No, for
Sacramento
sure.
goat.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Sac
the goat.
legend, bro.
For sure, legend.
Is he? He's the goat out of Sac, right? Who's?
Hell yeah.
he's
I
the-
mean, yeah, I would say so.
it's like
Yeah,
him and
my
Brother
opinion.
Lynch, right?
Yeah,
Brother Lynch, for sure.
I guess, yeah. When you,
Brother Lynch, yeah.
X-rated.
I mean,
baby.
Yeah.
We're
But it's
so
really-
young. Yeah, all we see
it's
is
really Brother
Mozzie,
Lynch or
yeah.
Mozzie.
Yeah.
I'd say Mozzie for sure.
Mozzie,
sure,
he's
for
been
me.
Even though he
In
stays
my
out here in LA,
lifetime,
but
Yeah.
No.
Which is smart.
yeah.
Why
Yeah,
the fuck
yeah.
would he
Well,
stay
yeah,
in
he wouldn't be
Sacramento?
out
He'd probably
there.
be dead or in prison right now,
Exactly.
dude.
Oh
He-
yeah.
he
The
was-
fuck?
he's
Hey,
a
the
smart
guy.
man.
Hey, the guys he beefs with, they don't
Hell
stay
no.
out there no more.
No.
Yeah. No, for real.
Yeah.
Like, why stay out there and be in the
Yeah.
mix with all that shit? Like, yeah. But
Man.
yeah, shout out to Mozzie. Mozzie's that guy, man.
No, for
Yeah.
sure.
Who
And
else is cracking out of Sac? DB.
Yeah, DB.
Oh,
Bad
Bad
Bag,
Bag, yeah,
for
he's
sure.
cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who else would you guys say right now?
Shit.
Shit. Yeah, numbers wise, I'd say DB Bad Bag. Mostly, I'll be honest. I listen to a lot of like Bay Area stuff. I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
Bay
A lot
Area
of
rappers.
Stockton stuff for the most part. It's
Who out the Bay though?
I like Yee, Bean.
Yeah,
I like
well,
a lot of
Yee,
them.
Bean, Pete.
Yeah, Pete.
Mhm.
I like a lot of them. I like Raj a lot. Rex Life Raj.
Yeah, Rex
Rex
Life
think
Raj
he's
is
fire.
Ours is hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen
Yeah.
to a lot of listen to a lot of Mozzie. I fuck with him tough. I even fuck with like, Westside Boogie out here. A lot of that type of shit too. So I mean, I'm kind of a little everywhere. But with Sac, I would say I haven't been listening to too many, at least hip hop. But when it comes to like R&B and stuff, Marmar Oso's fire.
Yeah, Marmar's dope. He came in here and
Yeah.
freestyled about his. He was rapping about his
beanie?
hat. His
Yeah,
beanie.
no, yeah, we just had him last week. So he
he's
showed
hard.
us some unreleased on camera and stuff, and
Shit,
his
he got
shit's
plaques
fire.
too.
No, yeah,
He's dope.
Yeah.
he's hella dope.
His shit's fire. We got another one of our boys, Aaron Lee. Shout out Aaron Lee out of Sacramento. He has a song right now, Sacktown, that's going.
When is that Music in the Park festival thing? that
Country
they-
or no?
Is that
Concert in
coming?
the park.
Concert in the
Is
park.
that
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
soon? Isn't it?
Yeah, it starts
yeah,
back
yeah.
up. I think in what May or
Man, my
or
homie
something.
runs KSFM out there.
Okay.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
hella cool. Usually gets hella cracking in summertime.
No,
Yeah.
They had
for
Soul
sure.
Bloom, but
They got
then
Soul Bloom
all
out
that
there too,
stuff
another
started
festival.
going down with the
Yeah.
cancellations and stuff, and people haven't even got their money back from last year.
Yeah,
Insane.
Yeah.
Didn't
Same.
Kaylani do something at
She
that
did
park?
Soul Bloom,
Yeah.
what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, well, Brent
Yeah.
did it too. We went
Brent
to the one
Files
Brent
was
was
there
at.
too.
That one was it was
Yeah,
lit.
that one was
but,
lit.
They both headlined it, one day.
yeah.
That's a sick ass show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard.
Just the venue location is
Fuck.
ass.
Yeah,
Fuck.
it's down the open heat.
Yeah.
Worst time of the year too. And the heat.
It got flooded that last one that he said.
Oh, yeah.
about.
And it's from the same promotion company that brought out Lost in Rhythm, which
Yeah.
is like more of the dance hall festival out there too.
Who's
So
the
there
greatest
has been-
Sacramento king of all time?
My favorite,
Greatest.
Oh,
No,
the
the greatest of
greatest.
all time. The GOAT.
the GOAT, Sacramento King. I'd say me. I'm gonna be biased, bro. I like Chris Mike Bibby, but Chris Webber.
It's
one
Chris
of the
Webber,
two.
right?
Chris Webber
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it's
Chris
C-Web.
Webber for sure.
Yeah.
I got
I'm a
closest,
bad
man.
boys though.
I like Mike
Warriors
Bibby, though.
fan, yeah.
See,
Like
I,
tough.
if I start throwing stuff out like as a kid, bro, for no reason, I loved like Gerald Wallace or like Ronnie Price at a time or Bonzi Wells. Like I loved always the.
Nah,
you know,
but Chris
just-
Webber's the guy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
for sure.
facts.
For
He's the
sure.
face for
Facts,
sure.
facts.
I would
You got
say.
Mike Bibby about to be the new head coach of
Sac
Sac
State,
State, yeah, so that's
crazy.
cool.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Bibby's up there.
Shout out
Peja.
Peja was
up there.
dope.
Oh, yeah.
Lottie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Boogie creep in?
In my
I think
top,
so.
yeah,
I think
I
You
would
put
say so.
Boogie over De'Aaron Fox?
Kev, let me tell you this.
That's
Yeah,
tough.
this
Nah,
is
you gotta
tough.
put Fox
Yeah,
over
you gotta
Boogie
put
because
Fox
Fox
over
at
Boogie.
least
Yeah.
won a series. Or
Yeah, yeah.
almost. No, wait,
Yeah.
y'all lost to the Warriors in that
Lost to
series.
the Warriors, yeah.
I have to
But
put
But it
Fox
looked
up
good.
there.
Put up a fight.
We put up
Yeah.
a fight. Shit.
Yeah,
Made
went
it
to
to
game
the
7.
playoffs.
I went to that game. But what I would say is, Fox, you have to give it to him because he brought it was like what, a 16-year dry streak, something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
he brought light the beam.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So we have to
Fuck
give
for a sec,
brought
and then
the
they were
soul
like,
back.
turn that shit off.
We have to give Fox that. But I'm not gonna lie. You ask
Saving
anybody
money.
that lives out there over the age of like what, 40 probably, they all hate DeMarcus. Oh, he's a punk. Like that's like the biggest thing.
Well, you
hear
guys
most
didn't
Kings
win with
fans-
him.
Exactly. Most Kings fans hate on him, but they don't realize like, bro was averaging 28 and 10.
It was
Like,
nice.
bro, it
Yeah.
was just so
was Bradley
good.
Beal on the Wizards, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, now on the Suns, man.
He's over here sucking dick.
Yeah. But how are you feeling about your Suns right now?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think is gonna happen with KD?
I hope we
Yeah.
keep him. And I mean, look, fuck Bradley Beal. And I mean that with all due respect because he's a nice guy. I don't want to say like fuck him personally, but
Well,
sports
fuck 'em.
fan fuck him.
Yeah.
Because we should have had Jimmy Butler. He turned down 3 trades.
Yeah.
We would have
Dubs-
Butler.
Dubs
And
got
now the
Jimmy
Warriors
B
got
now.
him, and the Warriors
Yeah.
looking all fucking rejuvenated. I hate
Oh,
the
yeah.
fucking Warriors.
Yeah.
No, me
He's a
too.
Warrior fan.
Yeah, I'm a Warriors
Yeah, he's a
fan,
war-
yeah.
he's the only Warriors fan, so we all talk hella shit.
Of course you
but-
are.
Yeah,
Why would you be a
Warriors
Kings
fan.
fan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, and we don't
why
have.
would I, man?
Yeah,
Like,
we don't
come
have
on,
shit to
man.
talk about right now because
Yeah, no, I think they're gonna try to keep KD. That should be priority number 1. I think if not, they got to trade him and try to get some draft. Like we have no draft picks,
Mhm.
but we got to get Bradley Beal the fuck out of town, bro. Like fuck, that fool sucks.
And we didn't get that Jimmy trade. We would have been fucked.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we would have been fucked. Shit,
nah.
KD ain't coming back either.
I would have
so.
took the KD. Hey, the KD trade that got proposed
Honestly,
I
it
would've
would've
took
been-
it.
Yeah,
because we
you
would
guys
have
hella-
had we would have got Kuminga,
Yep.
Jimmy Butler.
Mhm.
I think like 4 first-round picks.
Yeah, no, we were offering you
At
guys.
that point,
no
just take it.
brainer.
Yeah.
I'd have
Take
took
that
it.
shit.
Yeah.
Give me
I'm
Jimmy
glad
Butler
they
and
didn't do it, though,
Kuminga.
'cause
Fuck
shit,
yeah.
Jimmy B's, he changed the whole dynamic of that team.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, we are looking a little. We're back. We're rejuvenated right now, so it's
Yeah,
a
for
sight
sure.
to see.
Jimmy Butler's
Yeah.
that guy, man.
Jimmy G buckets.
He quit on
Love
the
Jimmy.
fucking Heat though.
Yeah,
Yeah, out.
he said,
He's
"Fuck
out.
Pat Riley."
You said, yeah, I don't have a word to say to him. I hope he doesn't have a word to
Yeah.
say to me.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah.
About
Pat Riley.
Pat
yeah.
Riley, yeah, fuck.
I'm like, damn,
crazy.
Jimmy. Nah, yeah, that's rough. But
Yeah. Shout out to the Kings, man. Y'all
Nah,
Shout out to
fucking-
the Kings.
I don't understand how the Kings went from like being this like budding like young team where everybody's excited
yeah.
to then being like, nah.
Yeah.
With the same core too. With the same core, it was
We're-
just like,
Yeah,
Like we're good.
yeah.
Like
Too much.
what the fuck?
I mean,
No, yeah. You look at it on paper, we improved in the offseason, then start the season, it just looks like we didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all traded
took
away
2
your
steps
star
back.
Halliburton, and then you traded away your other.
It's an emotional
star.
roller
Insane.
coaster. I'll tell you that.
Makes no sense.
Not at all.
Yeah,
no.
and then they fired
Brown.
fired Mike Brown,
Mike
but
Brown.
but it looked good initially.
Yeah.
They were winning.
But that was why they fired him. I mean, that was why they traded Fox, because Fox said, you know, if you're gonna, I'm not playing for another coach other than Mike Brown. If you're gonna fire him, get rid of me too.
He's like,
Type
get me
thing.
out of here.
But he even said,
Hey, that Indian fool got to
Yeah.
sell that team, bro.
oh yeah,
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he has Jeremy Lamb and his daughter
I know.
running.
I DJ'd
That's
for his daughter.
speculations.
Oh shit.
I've seen that. You said that you DJ'd for her when she was a pop
She was
star. Huh?
singing in. She was on a little mini tour in Florida, opening up for Kaylin and Miles. Is that the name of that group? From
Yeah.
the Bay?
Yeah.
Damn.
She was opening, and I DJ'd like I think two dates for her. She was a sweetheart. God bless her, sweetheart
Damn.
for sure.
Not many people could say that they DJ'd ex pop career of an ex
Except for
NBA G League GM.
Was she a GM?
Yes,
Yeah.
in Stockton. That's what I'm
That's
trying
they're
to
saying.
say.
There's
And-
influence.
And Jeremy Lamb was
Yeah.
playing on the Stockton
Yeah.
Kings, bro.
Oh, so he was piping the GM.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she
He's
had
with
to
her.
step down type shit.
No, I saw that like they're
Yeah.
banging and like he sits like courtside with the dad now.
They be holding hands on the courtside, bro. It's sick. And you
Yeah.
got Natalie Nunn on the other
Is
side.
Natalie Nunn from Sac?
Yeah, bro. She be out there.
Natalie Nunn and Stunner Girl from Sacramento?
Oh, yeah. Well, she's from like the Bay, but I guess they live out there or something. They be in Roseville.
Yo,
and
that's
shit all the
crazy.
time.
Yeah, that fool, the Indian fool got to get off that team, man.
Oh, yeah.
Facts.
No, I agree with
Did they
that.
fire Vlade Divac yet?
Yeah, no, he stepped down because he
stepped
said
down,
he
yeah.
said if this trade doesn't work in 2 years, I'll step down or something. And they looked at him and said, "Bro, Buddy Hield ain't amount to shit. Get out of here."
Yeah, that man. You want to talk about it? At least the one thing I appreciate about our owner is that fool ain't cheap, and he's like, I
yeah.
feel like he's trying.
And he's investing in y'all tough, like even the
Yeah.
community.
Yes.
He's investing in the future of the franchise.
All
for
our
sure.
food's $2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The
That's
games
dope.
are on TV for free.
That was sick that he did.
Also, we
that.
don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
We want to win.
we just want to win.
Make the hot dogs $50 fucking and give us a
give a shit,
championship.
let's win.
Fuck the $2 hot dog. Every time the Suns lose, there's a Suns page and they always post like a crying KD emoji and it says at least our hot dogs are $2.
Like on paper, you guys look so nice. So I'm just like, what's going on?
Mike
Like,
Budenholzer's a bum.
Yeah.
We just went on a 4-game winning streak because he
Yeah.
all of a sudden wanted to play the players that we should have been playing the whole time. Ryan
Yeah.
Dunn and Oso.
Yeah.
Yeah, our team sucks. Our coach is a fucking joke. And I hope they fire him and I hope Bradley Beal never suits up again for us.
Respectfully though.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
Trade him back to the Wizards for fuck's sake. I'll take Jordan fucking Poole. I don't give a
No
fuck.
man's land.
He might start cooking on your guys' team. He doesn't
Whatever.
want to be. He doesn't want to be the first choice.
I don't give a fuck, man. Bring him like, when he was with the fucking Warriors.
Yeah.
He's cooking.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you would look at Jordan Poole, you'd be like, "Is
Why
he
did-
better than Steph Curry?"
Can he shoot better than the
Bro, when
Splash
he was on the Warriors, I was like,
He's in his bag.
"How did they hit on another guy? What
Yeah, he
the
was in his
fuck?"
The amount of crazy shots he was taking, he was just mimicking Steph. Like he was
Oh,
just
yeah.
literally
Bro.
like about to be another prodigy, but then there was too many questionable.
Jordan Poole was on that
Shots.
year y'all won that ring. I was like, God, this fool's Steph
Flashing,
2.0.
Yeah.
Like,
Crack
Call
Wow.
a spade. They had to choose between Draymond and Jordan Poole, and they
Yeah.
chose Draymond.
Yeah, they probably
Draymond's
made
the glue to that team.
yeah,
man.
if Draymond goes, a team's it's
Yeah.
over.
No, they made the right choice for sure.
Yeah.
But
He's a heart and soul of that shit.
Yeah,
nah,
for
definitely.
sure.
And then Clay over here pick that poor
Yeah.
guy with the he should he
Dallas.
he wish he would have picked the Lakers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
know
did.
that Luka trade was by far one of the most insane trades
Oh.
ever.
Yeah,
Bro, that's just-
all-time worst trade.
Yeah.
Top 3 worst trade of all time.
I didn't believe it was real.
We were all streamed
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
fucking kicking it.
Oh.
Like, bruh.
Yeah, we were like, we didn't
fucking
believe
way.
it. Yeah.
We didn't believe it was real. The next day, we're like, "What? It really happened?"
Yeah, it's
It was
crazy.
hella
That
funny.
dude, what's that guy's name? Nico Harris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy can never. I don't know,
Dude.
man.
He
He
can't.
probably can't go to in public in
Yeah,
Dallas.
dude, he
Nah.
got death threats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he got literally
Dallas
death
ain't fucking with
threats.
him
I
at
don't
all.
blame him.
Yeah.
If I was a Mavs fan, I'd have threatened his life too.
Shit.
That's crazy.
And it's
Bro, yeah,
crazy
they
too
were
because
all on the
Mark
news and
Cuban,
shit.
Mark Cuban's getting hella backfire on that too.
He's like,
hella
bro, I ain't got
backlash,
shit
like-
to do with it.
Yeah,
He's like, I
exactly.
found out when y'all found out. Shit.
Yeah, fuck Mark Cuban, man.
Yeah,
So-
and he's fighting back. You see him.
No, he's
posting
talking shit.
paragraphs.
Yeah.
He's like, "This is why I got rid of you guys because of you fans." I was
You
like,
fans are
"Damn."
so toxic.
Yeah. Like, damn, bro, he's subtweeting fans out here.
The Mavs are crazy, man. They're fucking cooked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
AD got injured the second game. First game?
Yeah, I think
might have been
first or
first
second.
game.
I think,
Might have been
I think it was the
game.
first
yeah,
game.
I actually do think.
I think it was
game.
in the
Non-contact
second. He got
injury?
one half in.
Yeah,
He did it to Aaron Rodgers, huh?
Fuck. I wonder where he's gonna go.
Yeah.
See, yeah, he's
He
not
might go to
staying
the
long.
Niners.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I think that's why he's waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting to
I
sign
wonder.
this with the Steelers because if they don't pay Brock Purdy, them motherfuckers are gonna trade him.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. That would be crazy though to
And
see
then
him.
they're just gonna sign Aaron Rodgers and figure it out. They'll sign him for a year.
Yeah.
damn
Otherwise, they
He's
gotta pay
getting
Brock
moved.
Purdy.
a bag.
I mean, he ain't worth all. He's worth like a Sam Darnold deal. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Definitely.
yeah, fuck the Niners too though.
Yeah, I'm not a big Niners fan.
Who's your football team?
I'm
Cardinals.
Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Through and through.
Hey, I was gonna ask you. We're actually going to Arizona in a couple weeks. What are the must hits while we're out there? What for people who aren't from there? What are the things you gotta stop by? Obviously, we're gonna stop by 1111. We gotta see that.
I
But
would say, fuck, man. Really just depends on what you want to get down with, man. I mean, we got Arizona's like beautiful, like for hiking and shit, and there's like cool ass mountains and shit. And if you drive like an hour north, there's Sedona, which is like one of the most beautiful places in the world.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
gotta check that out for sure.
And then like in the city, just go downtown. There's great food, man. Amazing food. Try to go to a Diamondbacks game. Try to go to a Suns game. If we're wait 2 weeks, probably our season will be over.
No more playing for y'all.
I think we're the 10 seed right now, though. Are you guys out of the play-in yet?
No, it's
Sac?
like they're ninth.
yeah. I think we're in the play-in, but we're
Yeah.
teetering.
Yeah.
We're close to be
Walking the line.
out of there.
For sure. We'll probably end up. Is the 9 and 10 seed play first,
I think so. 10 and 9.
and then they
and
go on to
then
play
9 and
The
8.
winner I think goes into play. Well, I think is it the same way where like the opposites 10 plays whatever
I don't
6
fucking
or
know.
whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think
No,
that-
it's 7, 8, 9, and 10 that are the top 6 seeds make it.
okay, yeah. And there's 7
then
play
there's
10 and
4
8 and 9
teams.
play each other.
No, I forget how they do it. They make the really shitty teams win 2 games just to get a
Mhm.
chance to get
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
So you would have, I forget how they do it. So I think the
Yeah.
7 seed plays so I think it's the 9 and the 10 seed play each other. Whoever
Yeah.
wins that goes and plays the 8 seed.
Yeah.
And then the 7 seed will play only 1 game to have to get in.
Okay.
Whoever wins that second game. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, if you're going to Arizona, go to like, I mean, there's great food, man. Great Mexican food. Mexican food shitting on anything in Northern California. Not even close.
That's crazy.
I've been to the Mission District. I've been all over. The shit is weak up there. Respectfully.
It is weak.
I mean, it's not terrible. You find good Mexican food anywhere, like on the West Coast, if you look hard enough. But like in Arizona, you go fall and hit it. Yeah, I mean, there's like fucking go to fucking like Tempe, Mill Ave is cool. Like the College Street is pretty sick. Old Town Scottsdale's got all the fucking bars and clubs and shit. That's where my club's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking. It's really just eating, dog, and there's hella bitches out there full like. There's nothing but hoes out in Arizona.
What about your club? You got
Nothing but hoes.
Hey.
Hoes on hoes on hoes.
It is like the hoe capital of the West Coast.
He said,
Scott's-
That's what I've heard.
Go to
Scottsdale, Arizona is like the West Coast Miami for bitches.
That's what I heard. I heard it's turning into like the go-to spot. Like
It's
people aren't
just
going
whores.
to Vegas or LA
Yes.
as much. They're going to
So we have like a
Scottsdale.
little entertainment district in Old Town
dope.
Scottsdale that's cracking.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's just hella bitches,
Yeah.
and they're all fucking.
Horny.
I don't know. I mean,
he said, I
It is
can't say
snowing
that
in
much. I don't know.
it's especially if you like snow bunnies, Jesus. But there's beautiful Latin women there. Go to Jaguars, the strip club is in my opinion the best strip club on the West Coast. And anybody, Pilo will tell you it's the best strip club on the West Coast. G-Eazy will tell you it's the best strip club. I mean, I brought hella Bayfuls through there.
Yeah.
Like Pilo is upset, bro. Fucking OGZ and Shoreline Mafia, one of their new songs that's about to drop. They name drop Jaguars in it from
That's
Phoenix.
dope. That's
So
dope.
I brought all those fools through there. So Jags, you got to go to Jags. If you like strip clubs, go to Jaguars.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, you got to hit Jags. Jags a vibe. Good food there too. Chef Renee Get the fucking shrimp tacos, man, or the wings and fries. Whew. Gas.
Wings in the strip club.
Yeah.
It's the go-to meal.
That's the go-to. That's what's funny about it. You gotta get
Do they got strip clubs in Sacramento?
Bro,
Yeah, we got
don't get
None that you want. None that you want to go to.
Centerfolds.
Every time I'm like anywhere up north and I'm like, yo, should we go to the strip club? Everyone's like, nah.
Probably not. Yeah.
This shit's weak, bro.
Yeah.
Hella week.
Yeah.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's a big culture out there. I mean, a lot of them, from what I heard. I mean, we're a little younger, so we didn't see, like, I guess when it was bigger.
Right.
But a lot of them have closed down in the past like couple years. I know they're trying to bring one back, but
They all
don't know how
dance
big
in
it is
Vegas,
out there.
probably.
Yeah. You know,
So
they're
bags at.
traveling dancers.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think I've been to one strip club in San Francisco. Gold Club, I think it was called. It was whatever. There's a lot of white bitches in there dancing like they're on Grand Theft Auto.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, fucking Nickelback and shit.
Look at this.
Hell no.
Fucking
That's hilarious.
Not my vibes.
Nah.
Facts.
But yeah, but yeah, man, shit. What how long y'all been doing this?
Shit, since we've been out and live since August, but we did it for what would you guys say, about a year and a half before we even went live.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we built up our
around.
set, just tried to kind of learn a little bit, you know.
Like just with y'all? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we would kind of just, shoot different episodes and stuff, like just try to be creative with
Right.
it, different segments, do different
Dope.
topics, and then our first season was more of like a foundational season where we just kind of talked amongst ourselves about different things, and then we talked with some
Y'all grow up together or what?
longtime
Yeah.
friends, like since kids, like
Fire.
Yeah,
sandbox type shit. So yeah, we just would talk to people we knew and ourselves for the first season, and then that's when we started getting talked to with some guests, and we're like, hey, this next season we need to actually chase it. Let's try to get guests. Let's make sure we're coming with new
Right.
topics every week.
So how often do you guys drop?
Once a week. Yeah,
Dope.
we're gonna be rolling this one out. This season out in April. So
Fire.
yeah, we'll be once a week. Just
So the first season was like y'all just talking about topics and shit going on.
we
Yeah,
get
yeah.
together,
Just get
news,
together.
music,
Random
whatever.
content shit. Yeah.
Should dive into the sack shit, man.
No, yeah, we do.
Yeah,
We do.
Dive into all that.
Mhm.
That shit's
for sure.
bubbling, man.
No, yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Sack's on the rise right now.
Go to
For
fucking
sure.
Stockton and shoot with a bulletproof vest, you know?
no, for sure. We
That was the one thing when I got hit up to do the J-Bo shit, I was like, where?
Oh shit.
That's funny.
I'm like,
That's funny.
my
Gotta be
boy
prepared.
Brian, who's
No,
like
no,
my fake manager, my boy Brian Sampson, he's like from Stockton. He's 58. So he's like a Stockton OG. He's friends
Yeah.
with J-Bo's grandpa.
that's dope.
And one day I used to work for Empire for a few years. During the pandemic, I was running their content shit. And so I was in the Bay. He worked at Empire too, Brian. And we had a meeting or some shit. I had a meeting with Ghazi. And I was about to fly home. And this stupid old fuck, he's like, hey, bro, just drive back with me. He's like, because I had a flight in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was like the night before. He's like, let's just drive back. Like, you'll be home. Because I was like, man, I don't want to stay the night here, fool. Like, he's like, just drive back with me. Like, we'll drive back to LA together. Like, you can sleep, whatever. So this stupid fuck, I wake up in Nightingale, essentially.
Damn.
I wake up, I'm like, yo, where the fuck are we? He's like, oh, I'm glad you're awake. I wanted to show you my old hood. And I'm like,
My great grandma actually lived on Nightingale, and there's hella EBK videos shot in front of my
Dude.
great grandma's house.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're why is Big X Plug calling me? That's random. So we're like, this fool's giving me like a 11 o'clock at night fucking Stockton tour. And I'm like, dog, get me the fuck out of here.
I don't need to see this.
This is out of the way.
Yeah.
Why are we in Stockton?
They went north.
Like, I fell asleep and woke up in Stockton. We're supposed to be driving back to LA, and then we stop at his nephew's house. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are we doing here, dog? Like, that's my only Stockton adventure. Yeah,
That's
fuck
all
Brian
funny.
Sampson, that piece of shit.
There's not much for you to see out there.
I
Yeah.
love back, he said.
But yeah, nah, fucking Stockton's fucking lit, dog.
They got the thing going.
Yeah, for sure. That's something we definitely want to get tapped into more. Just trying to talk to more people around
Right.
Sacramento,
Yeah.
Stockton. Just
Local,
starting
yeah.
where we can.
Yeah, get all
I'm
that
talking
shit,
to-
man. You guys could be like the face of that scene. I mean, think about like Thizzler's like obviously Thizzler's been around forever.
Yeah.
But it's like a Northern California outlet, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you guys could be the Stockton Sack thing, dive into the niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously do different shit, you know, but
Yeah.
like focus on, y'all shit, you know?
Yeah,
No,
I really
definitely,
want to get
100%.
intertwined with a lot of people.
No, for
Just
real.
making connections, networking. That's
Yeah.
really the goal.
For sure. That's dope.
Working
man.
hard this year.
Yep, those are the steps forward. But
Are you guys all Mexican?
I'm Caucasian.
Okay. We have a white.
Caucasian.
I'm black and Mexican.
Mexican.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
He grew up in a Mexican neighborhood though, so
Got it.
He's a white Mexican.
Oh yeah, no.
Same,
the closest
same,
thing
buddy,
I'm
same.
Spaniard. I'm
Yeah,
like half
same.
Spaniard.
He's a
So
white
yeah,
Mexican.
it's
He
closest
gets
thing.
dark in the summertime.
yeah.
Nice.
Got a look
Are you
up to him.
bilingual?
Closest thing. What
He knows how to
speak
speak Spanish though.
Okay,
Yeah,
Piquito,
right,
okay.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But
That's
That's all you need, man.
Type shit.
Yeah,
type
yeah.
shit.
You just need enough to be able to talk to a fucking stripper in TJ, bro.
oh yeah, no, I could get us through that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got us through the
Or
taxis
talk to a cop.
Rosarito.
If you can talk to a cop in Mexico, you're good.
Yeah,
Hell
no,
yeah.
I left him in Rosarito without a phone, without a wallet, and everything. I got home good. So
Good.
That was insane.
Sketch.
Yeah.
Able to
Didn't
navigate.
see that for 6 hours. While
Yeah,
I
they're
was
like,
out
where the
doing my
fuck
own
were you? I
shit,
said,
but, yeah.
We knew where you were.
yeah, I had to go home.
Yeah, he was at Hong Kong.
I made a little mission.
location was off.
That fool disappeared. He's like, all right, guys, I'm tired. I'll be.
He said the
back with
Chinese
tattoos on his
food.
face.
I'm hungry.
Chinese food was
yeah,
great
I'm hungry.
there,
I need to go
so-
give me some Chinese food.
He smelled like cheap perfume.
It smelled like Victoria's Secret. Oh man.
No, but hey, we really appreciate you
Yeah,
coming
thank
on
you.
the
Good.
podcast, man. Thank you for having us here and letting us shoot
course.
here. And you know,
Shoot the
what
shit.
can our audience look forward to seeing next for you?
Yeah, man. A little bit of like what I said earlier. We're just gonna try to do some different content ideas on the channel. More interviews still. Shit, man. I'm probably gonna be on the radio with Sac real soon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
dope, man.
That's
I'm
what
working
it
on
is.
that right now. But yeah, more vlogs, different. There's gonna be some different shit happening on the channel, and then yeah, shit for Sac. I'll be out there a lot more. If this deal gets done where I'm on air out there, I'll try to get out there like a couple times a year. Sac's cool. I feel like I have fun out there. It's very like nothing to it for real though. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
no,
It's
straight
like,
up.
damn, this is the capital.
Nah.
Bro,
I
tell us
will
about
say
Trust
it
me.
is
Yeah.
budding a little bit. You're seeing
No,
the
it
plans
is.
coming
You know what I
in with
realized though?
everything.
If like the Kings are good,
Yeah.
it feels lit over there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Their
But if the
knives feel
Kings
like
suck,
silky.
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit feels dope. That's like let's
Dead
just
zone.
shoot each other.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's almost like it's almost like all we have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like if
But-
the Kings are good, awesome.
Life is great.
But if it's not,
Beam ain't lit.
motherfuckers are getting their heads blown off. I think they'll get their heads blown off anyway. But
if the beam ain't lit, stay
if the
inside.
beam ain't lit, stay inside because there'll be some other beams getting lit.
the green beam killed
Jesus.
It ain't purple.
Yeah, it ain't purple. I'll tell you that.
That's hilarious. But no, yeah, seeing like the A's come in, Sac A's for the next few years.
That's
You're
gonna be
seeing
cool,
the Sac
yeah.
Republic just
Wait, the A's are gonna be there?
Yeah,
they're
until
taking
Vegas.
Yeah,
until
yeah.
Vegas.
They're taking over the Sac River Cats. The
I hope
AAA
they
team.
give y'all a hat for a couple of years. You know,
That'd be
kinda
cool.
tight.
Yeah, special
Like a
edition.
special
yeah.
hat?
a purple
Yeah,
one or
for
something.
sure.
Yeah.
I hope they do a jersey, just a special edition,
Just
like
something different, so
Sacramento
you
or
guys can
something.
have some.
That'd be
Yeah.
sick. Yeah.
It'd be,
Sweet.
it'd
They
be
did that
super
shit
dope.
when the Hornets were in Oklahoma. for a
Yeah,
little bit.
Oklahoma. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had an Oklahoma
Okay.
City jersey. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that'd be
but
sweet.
yeah, and even they're building they approved a set of plans to start building the Sac State new stadium that's going to house like 25,000 people. They're going to be building a Sac Republic, which is the soccer team. They're going to be building that. So it is.
Or is it
you know,
MLS?
Yeah, no, not yet, but I think that they're going
They're getting
to
there.
be.
Is that the same
Yeah.
league that the Oakland?
Yeah, the Oakland Roots are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to be going MLS here soon, I guess.
Hey,
So-
Sweetie's from Sac, right?
Yeah.
She went to high school. She went to high school at
Oh,
Mount
sweet.
Monterey
She
Trails,
might
which
be
is like
up there
Elk
with
Grove,
this
Sac,
with
yeah.
Mozzie.
Yeah.
Sweetie's dope.
Yeah.
Sweetie's
But
dope.
she claims
Legend out
Hayward.
She do.
She claims
Fair
Hayward.
point.
Yeah, because she said.
I feel like whoever she's talking to, she'll change who she claims.
Yeah.
No, I feel that.
she says she a baby.
Yeah, she says that she's from Hayward and that she's not
She
from
went to
Sac,
high
but she went to
school in
Monterey
Sac.
Trails,
Yeah.
yes, which is
Okay.
like 10 minutes away from where we went to high school.
It probably is easier for her to claim the Bay nationally than to be like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, the guy who set this interview up for us said you guys were from the Bay.
Yeah.
Really?
No, because he asked where we were.
He's like, yeah, they're from the Bay. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I was like,
Sac ain't the Bay.
like
Nah.
Sac is not the
Sac
Bay.
is
So
not
Sac
the
no,
is
Bay.
I
not-
had told him. I told him. Yeah,
People
no.
just Mozzie goes through that shit all the time. When
Yeah.
people will be like, Bay Area artist Mozzie's like, bitch, he's from Sacramento.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People do that shit all the time.
You guys should interview Brother Lynch or Sibo.
Facts.
No facts. That'd be
Yeah.
lit. No,
That'd
for
be
sure.
lit.
Legendary.
I want to interview Brother Lynch so bad. I never got to. I got to interview X-Rated, which was tight.
That's the.
I used to buy that full CDs.
That's tight.
Brother Lynch though, shit, Season of the Sickness, dog. Whew,
That'd
that
be
shit
tough.
crazy.
No, yeah, we have quite a long list of people we want to try to get on from the area. There's a lot of people that
I don't even know if any of them dudes
Super
live
dope.
up there.
see. I don't know at that point.
Like X-Rated doesn't live there. Lavish doesn't live there. Mozzie doesn't live there. A lot of people don't live there.
yeah.
Have you guys interviewed Lavish?
No, we have not.
It's crazy.
Yeah, crazy scene. That's
Crazy scene.
Exactly, we would love to, but it's kind of hard to just.
We'll tap in. We'll see what it's looking like.
Put your foot in right away.
sure,
So
yeah.
we're
For sure.
we're
Good
just
shit.
kind of taking what we.
Have you guys interviewed DB?
No, we
No,
want to.
yeah,
I reached out to him,
want
but
to.
I get you guys that. That's easy. My boy manages DB.
Oh,
definitely.
take it. then,
Yeah.
yeah.
He still lives there.
That's
Yeah.
lit.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Who fucking knows, dog?
I know he's doing his thing though. He's out and about. You
No,
see him
he-
everywhere
yeah,
now.
He's
Yeah.
hard.
He moved.
I'll fuck with him.
Yeah, DB's hard. Good kid too. And they let him perform at the Kings game.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No, I
yeah,
was at
yeah,
that game.
yeah.
They called him DB Buddha Bag.
Buddha bag is
Oh,
crazy.
Yeah. I was like, damn, you're gonna do him like that?
Butcher
That's
this shit.
fucking hilarious.
But I didn't say
shit.
nothing.
That's fine.
Buddha bag.
That's fine.
DB Buddha bag.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
damn.
They got to fire whoever did that.
Oh yeah.
Fire
Was it the daughter? Damn.
No, it was
She got away
the
with it.
announcer. The little
They ain't never
MC
selling that
dude.
team. Y'all are fucked. And that old Indian fool loves that shit. He loves owning the Kings, dog.
He's
That
a
was-
pop star out there. He gets to live his life.
Oh yeah, he doesn't give. He's like, yo, we're gonna suck.
He's like, my life's great though.
Yeah, you guys are. We're always gonna be just all right.
Yeah.
You guys are a loyal fan base,
Yeah.
so I gotta put you through. the
Sabonis
shit.
is next. He's out of there.
Yeah.
I got you this nice stadium. What do you want?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got a
what-
beam.
What else? What else?
Yeah, we got a beam.
You guys, I mean, you guys had a series against the Warriors.
I know. That's all they
You're
gonna
like, why
get
do we?
to.
Yeah,
No
wasn't that
championship.
fun?
Win games.
What
We
else
have
do
a
you
beam.
want?
You guys aren't having fun yet?
Yeah,
Say what you wanted.
that's crazy. Shout out- what's that guy's name?
Vivek Ronad. No,
Yeah, Vivek.
Vivek. I don't know
Vivek.
his
Hey,
last
why is
name.
all the popping Indians named Vivek, dog?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
parents all had
fucking.
the same idea.
That fool ran for president's name was Vivek.
Yeah, that's the one I almost said.
That's
The other
Vivek
way.
Ramaswamy.
Yeah, I think it's still Ronadive or something. Actually, I think
You're asking the wrong person.
yeah, I'm probably wrong, but
Shout out to the Indians, man. Much love to y'all.
no, for sure,
Eat some curry.
for sure.
Salute.
Nah.
Salute. Shout out to that dude, Jeremy Lamb, getting it cracking with a billionaire's daughter.
Hey, bro,
That motherfucker's gonna get that Triple H action when he was fucking Stephanie McMahon real soon.
Yeah.
GM of the Kings on the way.
That's
on the way. NBA exec of the year
For
soon.
sure. He'll be running that team soon.
I'm here for it.
I mean, shit,
Right into the
there's-
ground.
There's
Like his
speculations that
fucking career.
there's speculations that he's already has his hands in making
Yeah.
like the De'Aaron
Yeah.
trade, like all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
they're saying
like,
that Vivek's asking their opinion on the trades. It's
Oh,
like,
they're crazy. Yeah.
that's what the whole point is. Like Monty shouldn't even be
Yeah.
talking to Vivek about the
Yeah,
moves.
no, it's
like,
wild. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
Shout
man.
out to the Kings.
Too
man.
much.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Shout out
the
to
Kings,
Sac,
bro.
man. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Are you guys what y'all like plan for? You said April?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna start rolling out in April, and then you'll see. We'll just probably do a little week rollout, just some
Dope.
content to lead up to it.
Good
and then
shit.
yeah.
Be on the
There
road.
it is, man.
Thank you once again, man. It was
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, appreciate it, man,
bro.
It's a
Pleasure.
pleasure.
Hospitality.
Pleasure.
Fans to now,
Yeah.
me and you, it's really
All
cool.
good, man.
Surreal.
You guys
honestly.
keep hustling and shout out to motherfucking Sacramento.
Yes, sir.
Sacramento.
Shit's
baby.
cracking, man.
Nah,
Y'all
for
put on
sure.
for the city, man.
Yes,
Nah.
sir.
There it is.
Yes, sir. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Tune in next week.
Boom.